Sports Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a great Wednesday afternoon to you. It is February the 7th, 2024. It is National Signing Day. Now, what exactly does that mean right now? Because back in the day, back maybe like 5, 6, 10 years ago, this was the day. This was the day that kids across the country, and particularly football players across the country, would ink their names on the dotted line and let us all know where they were going to play their college football. And in some cases, other sports as well. But then that changed a few years ago when they instituted a December signing day. Now, most of your top kids will sign in December I think it's right around, it's a little bit before Christmas. I think this year was December the 21st when all the kids made their signings official. So now, but they still have this February signing day. This is somewhat now known as the secondary signing day, or the official signing day, because the one in December is termed as the early signing period. So a number of individuals today signed on the dotted line to come to college and play football at colleges across the country, including the University of Arizona. Now, things have changed dramatically here at the University of Arizona since that early signing day right before Christmas. I mean, it was looking great then. The Wildcats went to San Antonio a few days after signing day. They would knock off the Oklahoma Sooners to finish the year with a 7-game winning streak, 10 wins. Everybody was feeling good about the future of this program and heading to the Big 12, talks of the college football playoff, Big 12 championships. All of that was happening in late December, early January. Then Nick Saban decided to leave Alabama. And that started a domino effect that went from Tuscaloosa to Seattle to Tucson to San Jose. And in the midst of that domino effect, Nick Saban retires. Kalen DeBoer leaves Washington to go to Alabama. Jedd Fisch leaves Arizona to go to Washington. And Brent Brennan leaves San Jose State to come to Arizona. And a bunch of kids got into the transfer portal because at all three of those schools, really all four of those schools, you can do that. A 30-day window opens. For the University of Arizona, that window opened the day after Jedd Fisch announced he was leaving. It will close on February the 13th. So still, kids still have 6 days here at the University of Arizona to decide if they want to go into that transfer portal. Meanwhile, you've got a new coaching staff here, and they've had to do what they can do to cobble together some signees to try to keep the kids that they want to keep that were already committed under the former coaching staff. We'll dive into that today. I'll just be straight with you. And we knew this was going to happen. I mean, this was just it's just kind of the way it is. The outlook on this class is not great for the University of Arizona. Prior to all this happening, Arizona had a pretty decent class. Wasn't the best class in the Big 12. It was about, when you think about the fact there's now going to be 16 teams in the Big 12 when we turn into the 24-25 calendar. When you think of the fact that there were 16 teams, Arizona was right around 7th. They were right around 7th when they were at the height of their glory on National Signing Day or early signing day in December. The Wildcats today, at the moment, of those 16 teams in the Big 12, depending on what publication you're looking at, there are a number of publications. We tend to steer towards Rivals, but Rivals has yet to make their switch in terms of putting the teams from the Pac-12 that are going to the Big 12 together with the Big 12. So they're making me jump through like extra hoops to try to say, okay, this is our ranking. Now I got to go back over to the Big 12 picture and slide it in. So right now I'm looking at On3. On3 is the new kind of organization that's come on board here in the last 5-6 years that ranks recruiting, follows recruiting, all this. They're really good with it. They have NIL information numbers. They've got transfer portal rankings. They've got football and basketball rankings. It's a really good and easy to navigate website. For me, that's the most important thing. Is it easy to navigate? Can I see what I want to see? Is it put together where it's easy to digest? Because I don't want to have to, I'm not a recruiting person. I don't want to have to go chasing and looking for all kinds of stuff. But I'm going to give you the bad news of On3 right now. Of the 16 teams in the Big 12, in terms of their rankings for this 2024 recruiting class, of the 16 teams in the Big 12, Arizona right now is 16th. 16th. So unfortunately, that's the result of Nick Saban retiring, Jed Fish bolting, and all of this taking place outside of the normal coaching carousel window, which generally happens end of November, early December. The fact that all of this happened in January has knocked this recruiting class down a whole lot of levels. That's what Brent Brennan and his team are dealing with as they try to embark on this initial phase of Arizona in the Big 12. Now, obviously, this is your freshman incoming class. You've got a lot of kids who are going to be playing this year, a lot of veterans on this team. So this might not affect you right away. This obviously is going to have an effect down the road, but it might not have an effect right away. This recruiting class, according to On3, has gone from 43rd nationally to 91st. They were 43rd after that National Signing Day, that early signing period in December. The coaching change has dropped them all the way to 91st. And like I said, they were 7th in the Big 12. They're 16th. They have this thing called class score. I don't know what that is. Maybe like how all the recruits are ranked. The Wildcats score after early signing day was 85.17. It's now down to 83.37. So, Do we still think this team's going to win a Big 12 championship and go to the college football playoff next year? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. J-Dub, what do you think after hearing all that information?
Duh. I mean, I think it's inevitable when you're talking about the momentum that Coach Fish built and everything that was going to come out of that, DK. You're talking about taking that coaching staff, that roster into the Big 12. All signs pointed to them being, along with Utah, one of the best teams there. I also brought up 247, which is another composite. They've got them 15th. And Colorado, believe it or not, with all the splash that Deion's had there in Boulder, they only have 7 recruits this year. So portal, as you expect Coach Brennan to take advantage of, and a lot of the landscape of college athletics has changed so much that I think you said it 3 or 4 times there in timing is what we're talking about here. The timing of the January decision by all of those coaches to retire, switch spots, and all of that has led to this. And I don't think there's anything you can do about that, right? I mean, you're talking about relationships. How long – it used to be you had to kind of build relationships as at least sophomores and juniors, right, before the final time when they would commit. And when you get a brand new coaching staff that's maybe recruiting areas that they're not super familiar with, I just think it's inevitable that you're going to have an issue this late in the game trying to get cobbled together. You said that as well, a class with such a limited amount of time. So I don't think this is an indication, I guess is what I'm saying, of future recruiting classes under this leadership.
Oh, no.
It's just the situation that we're looking at now.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is not an indication of anything in the future. It's just an indication of what the unfortunate circumstances of a coaching change in January does to this football program.
Where you real estate is your location, right? And I feel like recruiting is timing. And the idea that all of this took place when it did, DK, is, I just think it was inevitable.
Yeah. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We will dive much more into this with Troy Hutchinson. He's going to join us from GoAZCats.com. I'll ask him why they haven't integrated. They're rivals. That's one of the reasons why we go where I go with rivals for the most part. But like I said, they have not integrated the current Pac-12 teams into the Big 12 picture yet. So I went with On 3 because to kind of paint that picture, because they have, and it was easier to digest. So
Similarly,
we'll ask Troy when they're going to get on their
right
P's and Q's and integrate and get to 2024.
Similarly, I'm only on 247. You know why? Because I went to CBS.
I don't talk to those people.
I know
we don't
you don't
talk to those people.
I went to CBS to see their ranking systems, and this is the page that they sent me to.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Yeah. Unfortunately, CBS is in bed with them, but whatever. All right. We are joined by the third member of our program, Cricket.
Hello.
Cricket, how are you today?
It's cold.
Yes. Well, I want to first of all, what's this weather picture look like? I got up this morning. It's funny because I get up and what I do is I look at the temperature first because I want to know how I need to dress.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't really look to see and I saw it was going to be like 50s most of the day. So I said, it's going to be a little bit chillier. So I wore my fancy new Christmas boots that my wife got me. I'll see if I can put those up here. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They look like
so fancy.
Like fancy, like fashionable work boots, kind of.
I got to move back a little bit so the people on air can. There we go.
They are brand new. Nice.
Wow.
Ow. But don't hurt
Got a
yourself.
cramp. See?
Be
See what
careful.
happens when
Sorry.
You're like in your mid-50s and you're trying to lift your leg up. You get a cramp in the other.
Got to stretch before you do that.
Oh, my hip.
Exactly. Oh. Stop trying to do crazy gymnastics in the studio.
To answer your question, 50s through Sunday.
50s through Sunday. Yeah, but I didn't know it was going to be raining today. I didn't really look to see.
So you didn't listen to me yesterday? What? You were supposed to say what?
I might.
I'm not listening to you.
I might have tuned out a little bit.
Oh, that's okay.
So I'm sorry.
That's
but
okay.
no, I wasn't really aware that it was going to be raining as it is today. So the rain is, but I understand it's not. How bad? Do you know? Have you been following California? Because I heard it's like somebody referred to it as a atmospheric river. Did you hear that term?
I heard something like that about the California storm that I guess we're getting a part of it.
Yeah.
But so we're expecting rain through this afternoon, and then tomorrow afternoon and evening showers again, probably maybe even more showers again on Saturday.
Ooh.
So it doesn't sound like a super pleasant next few days. And it's like, I think
Depends who you ask.
So
that's true.
So do you know any? Have you checked in? Do you have friends in I've not checked in on any of my friends in California.
See if they're doing okay.
Exactly. I mean, I'm a bad friend. I haven't called to check on anybody to see if they're okay. Do you know, have you heard anything about what's happening out there? Is it really bad, or it's not like disastrous or anything like that?
I don't think so. I hope not. But they're always at a risk for
mudslides.
Yeah, there's been a few fatalities. There's some mudslides and the traditional debris flows, mudslides, that kind of stuff. Last 4 days.
All right. Well, I did. It's funny because my wife went back to Ohio and she took the shuttle, but she drove my car the day that she went to take the shuttle because it was really early in the morning and I wasn't getting up. Because I'm just a bad husband like that. I had to sleep that day.
And a bad friend?
Because I'm a bad husband and a bad friend, right? I'm all those things, really. That's why nobody's invited me to a Super Bowl party.
Oh, just wait.
Well, we're going to talk to Shannon. We are going to talk to Shannon about her Super Bowl party coming up a little bit later in the show as well. But I get to my car, so I had to take an Uber down to get the car at the shuttle place. And there's like an umbrella in my front seat. And I'm like, because I guess it was raining Monday morning. Or Sunday morning, whenever she left. I don't remember when she left. Saturday, I think. She left Saturday. So it was raining Saturday morning, and she left the umbrella. I was like, I wonder if she forgot the umbrella or she just left the umbrella there for me. So
Feeling sorry for you.
Feeling sorry for me. But she's always thinking about me and all that stuff. Yeah, she's a good wife.
Well, how sweet is
I
that?
Her. I like her.
You like her a little bit?
I like her a little bit.
That's really nice. I would hope so. That's really nice.
All right, getting you home every 20 minutes, trying to keep you safe and dry at the same time is Cricket.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Reported collisions, Star Pass in La Cholla, Broadway east of Harrison, 6th Street in Campbell, a crash on 22nd Street east of Country Club, River Road in Shannon, traffic signals malfunctioning, some slowdowns eastbound I-10 approaching the Ajo-Kino connection, more backup southbound Nogales at Los Reales, and westbound Valencia at Mission. So we're expecting rain this afternoon, 44 our overnight low, 59 the high tomorrow with afternoon and evening showers, and 46 and rainy now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Albertsons and Safeway. Albertsons and Safeway pharmacies make it easy to get your flu shot and updated COVID booster. Protect your home, office, and community. Walk-ins are welcome, or skip the line by making an appointment online. They're free with most insurance. Some restrictions apply. See pharmacy for details.
At Blue Moon, we craft our beer with Valencia orange peel and coriander for a brighter flavor that's one of a kind every time. So we decided to craft a one-of-a-kind radio ad using just those ingredients. Orange peel, coriander, 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 orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should just stick to crafting one-of-a-kind beers. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado.
I don't think people understand how much cool air escapes into their walls and attic.
Or how much extra that costs you every month.
If only there was a way to explain how Alaskan AC keeps that from happening. It's kind of like that.
Did you seriously just aeroseal Gary's mouth?
Notice how almost no air is getting through?
True.
You're right, Gary. Only Alaskan AC includes AeroSeal with every AC system we sell. It keeps the cool in your home, not in your walls and attic.
He said all that? What'd he say now?
You're probably paying 20 to 50% more than you have to. You'll see savings from your new AeroSeal included systems the very first year.
I had no idea Gary knew so much about AeroSeal.
It's a big part of how we customize heating and air systems so people are comfortable in every room.
I gotta hand it to you, Gary. You know how to make a good point.
A regular pro at this.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot the most important part.
AeroSeal, included with every system at Alaskan AC.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
Did you hear what Coach said this week on the Tommy Lloyd radio show?
Is it the angle that the taller guys
I don't know. You're getting into some Bruce Pascoe type philosophy questions there. Umar's the player I got. He does a lot of great things. He has a lot of strengths, and he has a weakness or two, and one of them is shooting free throws. We got to help him figure that out. So
I will find a physics professor who will probably tell me I'm crazy.
The Tommy Lloyd Radio Show, Mondays at 6 o'clock. You miss a week, you miss a lot. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
After years of discomfort, it's like I'm alive again.
Sonia Hackett talks about how QC Kinetics changed her life.
QC Kinetics has given me my quality of life back.
Before QC Kinetics, Sonia suffered from horrible knee and back pain stemming from a car accident.
I was wearing knee braces just to try to maneuver around.
Sonia hated the idea of pain meds, and surgery seemed too risky, so she turned to the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, the leaders in advanced regenerative medicine.
That consultation just changed my life. I can do the treadmill, everything. I don't have anything holding me back. The quality of life is pain-free. QC Kinetics has made us very happy.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today.
I'm going to get emotional again. They are like family members to me. They care.
Call QC Kinetics now.
Call QC Kinetics, 520-497-4955. That's 520-497-4955. 520-497-4955.
My daughter is normally a little goofball. But after a bad night's sleep, she's too tired to be anything. That's why I trust Pure Z's Kids. Pure Z's Kids is mindfully formulated just for kids. Their non-habit forming, drug-free products help my daughter fall asleep naturally, giving her the rest to be her best.
I'm a dinosaur.
Her best dinosaur.
Pure Z's Kids, for ages 4 and up when needed. Explore our products at zquill.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's talk about National Signing Day. We're joined by Troy Hutchinson from GoAZCats.com. Okay, Troy, I was just telling the world, I was like, I like to roll with Rivals because Rivals is your outfit, and we have you on a lot. But you guys haven't integrated the new conference. When are you going to integrate the new conference so I can go to the Big 12 page and I don't have to take Arizona from the Pac-12 and then piece the numbers over to the Big 12 to see exactly where we rate with the rest of those schools? Well, what are you guys doing over there, Troy? Come on.
Well, you know what? If it was up to me, that would have been done by now. But, Yahoo, they operate at a different pace than all of us. So that's coming. But, looking at Arizona's ranking right now, and again, there's still some players that need to be taken off once they officially sign with Washington and go to their new school. Arizona, as of right now, is 61 nationally. That ranks somewhere, I think, 13th or 14th in the Big 12 behind Kansas State as well. But if you factor in the other Pac-12 schools coming over like Utah, ASU, Colorado, it's definitely the lower half, and it is only going to get worse in terms of the national ranking once guys like Damon Williams, Audric Harris, Adam Muhammad come off the board.
Yeah, well, again, that's I was looking at another publication, and they had us all the way down already to 91. So, I mean, again, this is the unfortunate the result of what we now have faced, a January coaching change a month backed up to the finalization of signing day, and it was expected. But did you, I guess, from your standpoint, did you think that this was about where things were going to fall once the transfers and all that flushed out?
Yeah, especially for recruiting itself, a lot of these high school kids, they will follow the head coach to where they go or look for a new school because they're not recruited by the school. They're recruited by the coaches, the head coach, and build those relationships up. And once you get the new coach in place, which Arizona did very quickly, I think it was like 24, 36 hours, somewhere in that time frame, you have to build relationships, but you're working on a short amount of time, and it's hard to do that in talking to new kids. So it's really no surprise, but you still look at the recruiting class. Yes, it's not going to finish ranked well, but you have a 4-star kid in Dylan Tabley from Phoenix. You have Jordan Washington, a high 3-star kid. You have some offensive linemen that are going to help this recruiting class out as well. So there's still some nice pieces. It's just not going to be that, 45th or wherever the ranking was at the time when you had everybody signed.
Now, Troy, you mentioned Jordan Washington, so let's start there because I remember that was a guy. I remember walking into Scotty Graham at the at McHale Center last year during a basketball game, and he was just absolutely raving about these kids. So I'm pretty shocked that we were able to keep him, considering how highly Scotty thought of him. What do you like about this Jordan Washington? He sounds like he's kind of in the same mold of Speedy Luke, a track guy that can really move.
Yeah, very similar to Speedy Luke, and both have similarities in that Johnny Nansen was the lead recruiter for both of them and really told Jedfish and that offensive staff that you need to have these guys on the roster. He was a big opponent of getting those two to Arizona at the time. Just pure speed. I don't know who would win in a 40-yard dash or whatever competition you want to put them through, but it'd be entertaining to watch. And, they're going to be backs that you can use in a multitude of ways, not only in the backfield, but also pitching it out to the side, getting them lined up in a slot position and having a quick screen out there, a quick hitter out there, and just seeing what they could do with their speed with this coaching staff. And obviously, you don't know what the offense is going to look like yet. Is it going to look like more San Jose State? Maybe Syracuse once that gets, finalized with Dino Babers. But whatever it's going to look like, you know that this coaching staff, especially Babers and Alonzo Carter and Coach Brennan, they know how to use speed running backs, and these guys are going to really feast off of that.
All right, Spiel, we'll talk a little bit more about running backs because it seems like that's where the major piece on the transfer side of it has come in with Ja'Cory Merritt, a young man from New Mexico, the Lobos program, one of the better running backs in the country that, of course, people aren't going to know about because nobody's talking about New Mexico.
Yeah, just watching the film on this kid, he is a really unique combination of size and speed, more size and strength, but he has the ability to break away from a few, would-be tacklers, and that's really what Arizona needed to get. They have a lot of speed in that backfield. They needed an every down back, and they really got that with Merritt, and they got it also in Conley from San Jose State as well, who was the number 2 back there, and yet was 10th nationally in yards per carry at 6.4 yards and had over 800 plus yards on the season. So they got 2 workhorses that they can really rely upon, and then that allows them to do other things with these speedsters.
Now, and it's pronounced Quali Connolly, the other running back from Fresno?
Yeah, Quali Connolly.
Yeah, okay, so you got 2 running backs to add to that room with the loss, obviously, of Michael Wiley and Jonah Coleman. What do you think? I mean, let's go back to Speedy Luke. What do you think the future is for him? Do you think this is it? I mean, there's a lot of people that necessarily don't believe that he can be, like you said, an every down kind of back, that he's going to be that kind of scat back that you use situationally. Do you think that's his future here, as he's still, even under this regime, going to be more of a situational running back than somebody that can give you 20 carries a game?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more situational, and, it might not be 20 carries or 15 carries a game, but it could be, 8 to 12 touches a game, rather that be out of the backfield or lined up in the slot or catching the ball out of the backfield as well. They're going to, I think, get creative where the previous staff really didn't. That's one thing that a couple of us have talked about is you watch these games and Rayshawn was running it right up the gut. He's an incredible running back, but that's kind of like a fly hitting the brick wall. You got to get your speed out in space, and I think this coaching staff is kind of going to bring that to Arizona because we haven't seen that the last few years under the previous regime. So if you look at Speedy Luke, his path to the NFL is going to be similar to like a Darren Sproles or guys like that, where they could do a multitude of things and hurt you in many different ways, not just taking 21 carries per game.
Troy Hutchinson is our guest. GoAZCats.com follows all things that are Arizona. So you mentioned at the top Dylan Tapley. He's the top rated recruit so far in this recruiting class, an athlete out of Desert Mountain High School. What is his future, do you believe?
I think he's probably going to play more of the previous staff. I would have said maybe defensive back, but I know he has a real desire to play receiver. Arizona's very deep at that right now. But, as these coaches come in and they evaluate talent, I think there'll be more room to hear a conversation of where he's going to play. But he's definitely a guy that gives them an opportunity to have flexibility on the roster. And I think that's really what you look for in college football today, rather it be offense, defense, or playing a number of spots on a defensive line or even on the offensive line as well. So just having that flexibility is huge.
The quarterback room, obviously a little bit thin right now. Do we anticipate that maybe that's a position that the Wildcats will try to add after the spring?
Possibly. I mean, once that window opens up, April 16th, you're going to see a multitude of guys go in from across the country, guys that just aren't getting enough reps, guys that aren't seeing the field at all and wanting to, have that opportunity. I think Arizona could benefit from maybe adding a veteran presence behind Noah Fafita. You do still have Braden Dorman there, who's a four-star, highly talented quarterback as well. That was huge keeping him. But just getting that one veteran presence where, if for whatever reason Noah's unable to play in a game, he gets hurt or something happens, you have a break glass player that you can rely upon just to get you through the end of that one game.
They got a bounce-back kid on the defensive side, Arizona prepster in Trey Smith. What's the story on him?
Yeah, Mountain, one of the all Mountain West performers this season. He made the all-conference team. Was hurt 2 seasons ago, had a big season this past season. Very good edge rusher, has decent size at 255 pounds for more of that edge rusher than traditional defensive lineman kind of guy. Gets to the quarterback 6.5 sacks, but he was huge for Arizona, and so was the addition of the Syracuse defensive lineman as well.
Now, we're still kind of waiting on Isaac Ward. I'm hearing maybe, he might potentially stay. What do you think's going to happen with Isaac Ward and Takario Davis?
Yeah, Isaiah Ward, I think it's going to depend on what him and his brother want to do, because you have to remember Anthony Ward is in the transfer portal as well.
Right.
He came over from Washington and was that walk-on, and I think eventually earned a scholarship at Arizona as well. So what they want to do as a set of brothers will be interesting. And then Takario Davis, it's been very quiet, but from what I've been told, it's more leaning towards staying with Arizona. But, with the way these two have really acted in the transfer portal, which I kind of commend them for doing, it's been, we're not going to be tweeting out stuff. We're just going to, group up, talk to our family, talk to our friends, and make a decision from that point on. But, the window's closing pretty soon on, I think, 6 days away, you're saying. It could be a situation where, let's see what spring football looks like with Coach Brennan. Let's give him an opportunity, and you could always maybe leave at that April 16th window. But I think it's more leaning towards them staying than not. But, who knows with how NIL and college football is nowadays.
Troy Hutchinson is our guest, GoAZCats.com. Troy, you were at the press conference today. Mike Candrea taking over as the interim athletic director. What were your thoughts on what you heard from Mike and I guess what he is going to be able to do in however long this interimship is for him?
Yeah, I think it was when I first heard the move, I thought, man, that's interesting. I never thought he would want to be in that type of role. But honestly, it's the perfect role for Coach Candrea. It was refreshing hearing him talk again, and he's a very honest and open person. I think we all really understood that, and throughout his time as a softball coach, get that as well. But I think what he's going to be able to do for the university is really reassure other coaches, on staff and other staff members, a sense of everything's okay, a sense of calmness during these turbulent times. He mentioned it. They're not in a good spot financially. They're working to fix that and create new plans to getting out of the hole. But when you have a guy that is great with people and a good communicator, I think it reassures other coaches, that be Tommy Lloyd, Brent Brennan, Adia Barnes, Chip Hale, other coaches across, the athletic department, that everything's going to be okay. And sometimes you need that reassuring voice, and he's that for the athletic department.
All right, Troy, always great stuff when we talk to you. I'm gonna get on those people at Yahoo to get their systems going, so I only have to go to one place, and I don't have to take my U of A information and slide it over to the Big 12 and try to figure out where we stand over there, since that's where we're going. Troy, always great to talk to you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Have a good one, guys.
Troy Hutchinson from Go AZ Cats. Be sure you check out his work. He does a tremendous job over there with that particular website, and we always enjoy having Troy on. You can find him at Hutch, Hutch 1995 on Twitter. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Here is Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. We've got reported collisions Broadway east of Harrison, 6th Street in Campbell, 22nd Street east of Country Club, Camino Seco south of Old Spanish Trail, and also golf links near Swan. Expect slowing in those areas. Also backups on eastbound I-10 approaching Ajo-Kino connection. And busy traffic at Ajo and Mission. Now, weather-wise, rain this afternoon, 44 the overnight low, 59 the high tomorrow with afternoon and evening showers, and 46 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Discover. If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cash back on everyday purchases with no fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC.
This is what a party sounds like. This is what O'Reilly's 100-year anniversary party will sound like. Save the date. It's March 23rd, right here at the dealership.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low-pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14-area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low-pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for a free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
We're celebrating 99 years, 8 seconds at a time. The 99th La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo returns February 17th to 25th with action-packed fun for the whole family. Plus delicious food, beer garden, shopping, kids activities, and the Coors Barn Dance. La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo, February 17th through 25th at the Tucson Rodeo Grounds. Get your tickets today at 520-741-2233 or TucsonRodeo.com.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
We're even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
The American Red Cross is facing an emergency blood shortage as the nation's blood supply has dropped to critically low levels. Blood and platelet donations are needed now for people counting on life-saving care after accidents, surgeries, and those facing critical treatments for cancer and sickle cell disease. You can take action today. Make an appointment to give blood. To book a time, use the Red Cross Blood Donor app. Visit redcrossblood.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS to schedule your appointment.
I don't think people understand how much cool air escapes into their walls and attic.
Or how much extra that costs you every month.
If only there was a way to explain how Alaskan AC keeps that from happening. It's kind of like that.
Did you seriously just aeroseal Gary's mouth?
Notice how almost no air is getting through?
True.
You're right, Gary. Only Alaskan AC includes AeroSeal with every AC system we sell. It keeps the cool in your home, not in your walls and attic.
He said all that? What do you say now?
You're probably paying 20 to 50% more than you have to. You'll see savings from your new AeroSeal included systems the very first year.
I had no idea Gary knew so much about AeroSeal.
It's a big part of how we customize heating and air systems so people are comfortable in every room.
I gotta hand it to you, Gary. You know how to make a good point.
A regular pro at this.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot the most important part.
AeroSeal, included with every system at Alaskan AC.
Hey, Michael Fabiano, Fantasy Sports Guru here. Football's regular season may be over, but that doesn't mean your fantasy season is. The big game is right around the corner, and basketball season is really heating up, so there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app. This isn't like other daily fantasy apps where you're playing against a bunch of sharks. It's just you against the numbers. And with the right selections, you could turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps. For the big game, I'm picking the Kansas City star tight end to have more than his projected receiving yards and the KC quarterback to have less than his projected fantasy point total. Over 7 million sports fans have already signed up, and I'm one of them. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit of up to $100. They're even offering a big game special. If Kansas City's quarterback throws for more than 1 yard, you win. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code PRIMETIME. That's code PRIMETIME on Prize Picks for a first deposit match of up to $100. Prize Picks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, we were talking yesterday about Super Bowl parties and how that all works and how people do it. And Cricket, you were saying that our friend Shannon Black from Kim FM, her mom throws one of the best Super Bowl parties. Well, the only one you've ever been invited to. So
I used to go to other Super Bowl parties, but I shouldn't say that out loud, but Shannon's mom's Super Bowl parties are epic, probably the best in town. Maybe even the best in Arizona.
Epic, she says.
Best on this side of the Mississippi.
Well, we got to find out then, because joining us right now from Kim FM is Shannon Black, who is absolutely the energy in this building. If it's not Cricket, it's Shannon Black for sure. She holds this place up in the mornings as well as in the afternoons when she's not even here. Shannon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, DK? Hi, Crick.
Hey, Shan.
Very good. And we got J-Dub here as well with us. So
hi, J-Dub.
Tell us about this. When did your mom start throwing this fabulous Super Bowl event that I've been hearing all about?
Okay, well, I could lose half the audience here. Let me start it by saying my mom's a Dallas Cowboys fan and has been since the day they took the field, okay? My stepfather is a Buffalo Bills fan who grew up in Buffalo. So we have had near divorces during Super Bowls. We have had pretty much everything you can think of. But my mom just loves to throw a party. So Super Bowl Sunday is her thing. She has 5 TVs. She has anywhere, it could be up to 50, 70 people over. As she makes the snackadiums, which I think this year would probably be a fancy charcuterie table because she makes them that big, like 4 feet by 5 feet, and everyone who comes over brings something. Everybody has a team. Everybody's in their team jersey. There's Jell-O shots the color of the teams that are in the Super Bowl. There are football boards. There's everything you can think of. There's special drinks. There's Royal Butts, which are shots of Crown Royal and butterscotch schnapps.
Oh, my gosh.
Monaca. Yes, there's Monacas, which is where we hollow out cucumbers and put in tequila and lime. There's pretty much everything you could think of, and everybody just has a good, fun time. No fights, no anything. If your team's in it, great. If not, that's even better because then we can win money and go for it.
Okay, so what is your team then?
My team is the Dallas Cowboys as well. So is my husband. Now, I've been a Dallas Cowboys fan since Troy Aikman took the field with the Cowboys. My younger sister has been a Dallas Cowboys fan since she can remember. So Cowboys runs in one side of our family, and then my stepfather and his daughter, my stepsister, and their whole family, all Buffalo Bills.
Wow. We're talking about two teams. So both of your teams were in the playoffs this year. Tell me what it was like for you to watch, because I actually watched that game with some Green Bay people that day. What was that day for you? They were all excited and happy. I was like, I thought they were. I'm a Browns fan. I thought they were going home like we did the day before in a pile of ashes, but it didn't quite work out that way. Y'all must not have been having a good day.
No, it was devastating. We went into it thinking this is it, but this is our year. Like Dallas Cowboys fans say every year, we've got this. And then the game starts and we're like, what? No way. What is going on? Who are these people? And then it was just tears and distress. And but I am one of those people. You never know who's going to win till the end. So I was still, don't worry. If they can do this in the first half, the Dallas Cowboys can do it in the second half. And none of that happened. So we went to bed crying.
Now, I know you've met a lot of people, Shannon, because I've seen the pictures. You know, you guys always put up pictures of all the famous people. So have you ever met Troy Aikman?
I have met Troy Aikman, and I met Troy Aikman when they played the Cardinals, and it was it was in the 90s.
Wow.
And I was able to get a pass, and I went into the locker room. I didn't realize that, I know what happens in the locker room, but I didn't know what I was walking into in the locker room. Thankfully, Troy Aikman had clothes on. But what I did was, after I asked a question, because I figured, well, I'm in here, I may as well ask questions like everybody else. Then I said, hey, can you sign this? And I asked for an autograph, and they kicked me out.
Oh, yes. That is against the rules. That is absolutely
I didn't know that. I was on my friend's pass.
Oh, my God. Even worse. Like your friend probably never got credentialed again. Because
would you like to know who the friend is?
Yes.
Ryan Jeffries.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, my
I'm serious. Please don't remind him.
I'm crying. I forgot that it was Brian.
Wow. So no wonder Brian can't get into the Cardinals games anymore.
That might be me.
So your mom has 5 TVs. Does she have to put up TVs specifically for these events, or are these just the TVs she has in her house?
Oh, we do Football Sunday every Sunday during the NFL season.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, and that could be anywhere from 5 to 25 people every Sunday. And then Super Bowl is in the playoffs is when you get more people out.
Wow.
Because everybody in my mom's neighborhood and all of her friends know, well, we're going to Super Bowl at Judy's. So
it's a big
that's
event.
why I never get to. You are more than welcome to come.
Wow, I might have to. I might just have.
You and J-Dub, Cricket's already on the list.
Cricket's on the, she's going to be walking dog. Well, if we can get Cricket to go, then I definitely would have to go.
I really want to go. Maybe I'll go to Pack early and then leave early and maybe go to the party.
Well, the game doesn't even start till 4:30.
Yeah, 4:30. You'll hear it right here on Wildcats Radio 1290, and our coverage begins at noon that day. So do you wear the same jersey every year, or do you have a different jersey you wear?
I wear a different shirt and or pants and socks and cowboy shoes every week, because when they win, I wear the same thing. Then if they lose, I have to mix it up and wear something else. And then when they win again, then I stick with that until they lose again. And I have these fancy, sparkly Converse cowboy shoes, and they were my winning shoes until that darn Green Bay game. So now I don't know if I can wear them again.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Now,
it's a dilemma, DK.
Did you marry your husband because he was a Cowboys fan?
No, that just happened. I had no idea, because, when you discuss teams, as a Dallas Cowboy fan, you have to say, I always preface it with, well, you're either going to love this or hate this. And he was like, I'm a Dallas fan. So my little handsome pants Hubba Bubba is a Cowboys fan too. So it works out.
That's awesome. Because sometimes you can't find that, especially if you're didn't necessarily grow up in that city or something like that. That's
right.
Fabulous. So now your stepfather and the Buffalo Bills, obviously they've had major. What's he kind of said about all the disappointment that they've had throughout the years?
Well, what's funny is this year, early on, he was like, this is horrible. It's over. It's over. And then as soon as they started, he gave up early. I'm like, come on, man. You can't do that. And then they started winning. So he's gone to a couple games. We've gone to a couple games, Cowboys games and whatnot. And so he was on it and thought for sure they were going to win it. And then his second team is Detroit, so he got let down twice.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, but I will tell you this. We did all go to a Buffalo Bills-Dallas Cowboys game in Buffalo. And when we got out of the car, of course, we're in our Cowboys gear, and they're in their Buffalo gear. And I understand, I'm going to your home, so I need to behave. So we get out of the car immediately. Every Buffalo fan is yelling and screaming at us, get out of here, go home. And I tell my group, I'm like, you walk, you get inside, you don't say a word. So we get inside, they're horrible, they're mean, they yell at us, try and start fights. I mean, they're yelling at my mom. I'm like, you're yelling at a grown woman. What are you? She could be your grandma. Stop it. So Cowboys end up winning at the end, at the buzzer.
Wow.
So I look at all of them and I said, we are staying here until these people are gone. And it was a Monday Night Football game. So I ran over, tried to get behind Emmitt Smith and everybody on TV and all that stuff. And we hung out until they said, okay, you guys are going to have to leave. And the security guard looked at us dead in the face and said, please be careful walking out and do not say a word to anyone. And I was like, we got it. We get to the car and my sister opens the door and I look in the back seat and I'm like, why are your CDs all over the place? That's how old it was. There were CDs everywhere. And then I look and I said, and why is there a hamburger in my seat? The Buffalo Bills fans who were around us took all their trash, broke into the car, and put it inside.
Oh, my
They
gosh.
loaded our car with their trash. They didn't steal anything. And, maybe because we were in such a rush, we didn't lock it. Maybe we were freaked out, but somehow they got in. I'm assuming they unlocked it somehow. They didn't trash it, but they put all of their tailgating garbage in our vehicle.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
That was pretty funny, though,
So now-
because we were safe and the Cowboys got the win, so in their face.
So now your mom and her husband, were they married when the Cowboys and the Bills played in the Super Bowl back in the 90s?
Yes, they were, and it was horrible. It was great for us, but horrible. He took down all the Buffalo Bills stuff from the house and said, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm sick and tired of the Dallas Cowboys. Never again. He didn't go anywhere. He was all talk. And here he is still all these years later in 2024.
That is unbelievable. I can't believe you guys do it every week. That's nuts. That's awesome.
Yes, that's
though.
why if anybody asks me to do stuff on Sundays, I'm like, gotta go to mom. You're
Gotta
more than
go.
welcome to come, but I gotta go to mom.
It's a tradition.
That's like family dinner.
Yep.
Family dinner is the NFL game every Sunday at
Yeah.
mom's, at Judy's.
And that's what I love because it is our family time. So that I think that's really cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. All right. Well, Shannon, thank you so much for telling us all about your party. Tell us what the best drinks are there for the party.
The Royal Butt, which is Crown Royal and butterscotch schnapps mixed in a shot.
Okay.
And then there's something we made up that's called a Manaka.
Yes.
And our friend George is really the only one who can make it taste wonderful. I don't know what he does. He puts magic on it. He's a 49ers fan, by the way.
Oh, gosh.
Anywho, yeah. It's tequila in a hollowed out cucumber with fresh squeezed lime in it, and it tastes like heaven. It tastes like a Cowboys win.
Now you don't make pork chop disc jock DJ your party, do you?
No, we always ask him to come, but he's afraid.
He should be.
He's afraid. What's he
He's like,
afraid of?
I have to work later. I cannot go over there. You'll make me
Oh,
drink.
he works on Sunday nights, so
Yeah, he's always working. I'm just working it.
He is the hardest working man in show business here in Tucson. I keep calling him that.
He is, most definitely.
All right.
I'm like, dude, I need a nap with just looking at your schedule.
Tell people how they can listen to your show every day.
Oh, you can download the Kim FM app, or you can listen 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Kim FM 99.5 on your FM dial.
All right. So what do you? I've been here now 6 months. When are we going to get some country stars in here? You guys brought the one young lady a few weeks ago whose brother played football at USC, so that was kind of cool to hear her. But I want to see when are the big time stars? Do you guys still get any big time stars up in this building?
That's what I want. I have no idea. I ask every day. And Buzzy, who's on an afternoon, said, Shannon, quit harassing people. And I said, okay, I won't ask anyone anymore. By the way, Charlie Pride has a Dallas Cowboys song, and it goes, Dallas, Dallas Cowboys. You should listen to it. It is fabulous.
We'll have to pull that. I'll have J-Dub pull that one up. We'll see if we can play it in the next hour.
I'm serious. It is priceless.
So what time do you go to bed, Shannon?
Early, like between 7 and 8.
Oh my gosh, 7 and 8. I haven't even left the building usually until like
That's
after
what I
that
hear.
time.
People ask me to go do something during the week, and I'm like, "What are you, crazy? I'm not 21 anymore."
How come you don't DJ out at the clubs like Pork Chop?
Because I'm married and have 2 pups.
Oh yeah,
I can't
tell
be
the people.
staying out in the club.
Tell people the names of your pups. I can't even it's like I couldn't even remember all this morning.
Oh, my baby. Miss Maggie May McFluffy Face and Sir Frank. There it is. Dallas Cowboys. And Sir Franklin the Tinklin McFluffy Butt. Here we go. Ready?
Maggie
This is back in
McFluffy
Legendary.
Face. How did you come up with those names?
Super team, lean hard on me, ugly and mean. Oh, sorry. Well, because they're rescues, I thought, and they had many homes, I thought they needed special names. So they just came to me. And they're fluffies, so I said McFluffy Face and McFluffy Butt.
I think we've got on our live stream right now. Which one is this? Do you know, Cricket, which one that is?
Sir Franklin.
That's Sir Franklin. We've
In
got a
Shannon's
picture of
arms.
you and Sir Franklin on our video stream right now.
I love that
He's
picture.
my little baby boy.
There you go. Hey, Shannon, appreciate you stopping by and joining us. I'll let you know if I'm coming by on Sunday.
Of course, DK. I'll see you on Sunday at the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl at Judy's. Everybody head to Judy's to see the game on Sunday. Take care, Shannon.
Bye, Craig.
Bye.
Shannon Black from Kim FM. Wow, good stuff there. All right. You want to do the traffic live since you're here?
Sure, we can do that.
because I don't think we've ever done it with you live at the top of the hour,
At this
so we
time.
might as well take it
Sure.
away.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. So we've got reported collisions clearing Valencia east of Mission, Overton and Thornydale, golf links near Swan near Davis Month, and also Camino Seco south of Old Spanish Trail. Do expect those slowdowns and those usual suspects near Ajo and Mission. Also eastbound traffic on I-10 near the Keno-Ajo connection. And weather-wise, rain this afternoon, 44 the overnight low, 59 the high tomorrow with afternoon and evening showers, 45 and some light rain in some areas. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Mucinex Fast Max Kickstart.
Good job, guys!
You sound like you're feeling better, Coach.
Yep, took Mucinex Kickstart. Now I'm back in the game.
New Mucinex Kickstart, all-in-one and done relief with a morning jolt of instant cooling sensation. Buy now. Use as directed.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Did you hear what Coach said this week on the Adia Barnes radio show?
Her freshman year, she had gained that freshman 15. She wasn't going to play 45 minutes then. You guys don't remember? In Spain, they eat small portions. They eat 5 fries and a small hamburger. In America, we eat 75 fries and a double burger. She wasn't used to that. She was loving America. She gained like 15, 17 pounds in freshman year. She was thick.
The Adia Barnes radio show, Tuesdays at 5:30. You miss a week, you miss a lot. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Experiencing the Sonoran Desert's natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' Cay. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' Cay. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockinCay.com. Designed by nature, built for you. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Cantina nachos, strawberry watermelon margaritas, a few zombie kills, and all your favorite sports teams live. When your day calls for some winning, it's time for Dave & Buster's, where you can eat, drink, play, and watch all the sports you want. They've got massive HD TVs, hundreds of the hottest new games, a chef-crafted menu, and an incredible list of beers, wines, and cocktails. So remember, if your day calls for a little victory, a little triumph, a little win, it's probably calling for Dave & Buster's.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low-pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14-area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low-pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Hour number 2 of the program on this Wednesday as we get you set for a weekend filled with basketball. Arizona men's basketball. They're getting on the planes today, heading to Salt Lake City. They'll take on the Utes tomorrow night. Our coverage tomorrow will begin at 2 p.m. So normally we're on our regular show at 3. Tomorrow we start at 2 for our 3 hours of countdown to tip-off, leading you up to a 6 o'clock tip between the Wildcats and the Utah Utes. The Utes have not lost at home this year. They are 12-0 this season. And the Colorado Buffaloes have not lost at home. They, too, are 12-0 this season.
Huntsman Center's always been a tough place to play.
Never easy. The Wildcats last year went there and got handled pretty well by the Utes. That was right on the heels of the fabulous performance in Maui. And then they had that early Pac-12 game, which they did not have this year, that mid-December Pac-12 game. And they got beat pretty good.
That was a pretty famous game because they inverted the offense. And we've talked about that quite a bit because Arizona struggled this year sometimes when bigs, DK, get out on the perimeter and can knock down some open. Well, guess what? Point no further than to that game in Utah, in Salt Lake City, as a prime example of how that works. I mean, they really did a marvelous job of getting their bigs out on the perimeter and obviously knock down those shots.
Appreciate Shannon Black for joining us in the last segment, telling us all about her mom Judy's Super Bowl party. First time I ever had a chance to interact with Shannon was actually during COVID. I did a story on her and her husband when I was at News 4 Tucson when they were, I think her husband had tested positive and she was working from home. And they told me to call her up and do a story with them. And so that was the first time I'd always known who she was, but I'd never really interacted with her until doing that story on her. But she is a hoot. Funny lady.
She needs a little more energy, don't you think?
Just a little bit more. Just a little bit. Always fun to have her in the building. She never comes back to this office. She has an office back here right across from me. I mean, she hardly ever comes back there.
Yeah.
That's
Pork Chop's office.
That's Pork Chop. Pork Chop owns that office.
Yeah.
I think he takes naps in there sometimes.
Probably.
After DJing,
I just wonder about Brian's credentials. That's what
Oh
I'm
my
wondering about.
gosh. How about that story?
Great.
Oh, we'll have to ask Brian about that when we talk to him next week. I'm sure he probably has something funny to say about it as well. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. National Signing Day here in college athletics. We also today had a chance to hear from Mike Candrea, the interim athletics director at the University of Arizona. So we will also get into a little bit of that in our remaining 2 hours with you today. We've got our lines are open now. I think we're done with our interviews for the most part. So if you want to get in on the program, you can do so. You can call us at 520-848-1290. You can text us at 520-848-1290. We were talking about the signing class for the University of Arizona, which according to On3 is 16th out of 16 in the Big 12. Number one right now, according to On3, is Texas Tech, and I'll give you 1 through 16 as they are ranked currently. Texas Tech is 1, Central Florida is 2, TCU 3, Kansas 4, Kansas State 5, Utah 6, BYU 7, West Virginia 8, Arizona State 9, Oklahoma State 10, Cincinnati 11, Iowa State 12, Baylor 13, Houston 14, Colorado 15, and Arizona 16. Now, one of the reasons Arizona is ranked so low is because they only have 13 commits due to the situation, obviously, with the staff leaving, a number of kids decommitting, heading some of the early arrivals, like Damon Johnson, the quarterback, entering into the transfer portal and then opting out of the University of Arizona. So whereas like Texas Tech, Central Florida, TCU all have 20-plus commits, the Wildcats only have 13 commits right now. So that number could change with more commitments for the University of Arizona. But unfortunately right now, that's where they stand. That's where they stand based on these rankings of the recruiting class from On3, 16 out of 16th. So we don't have an official question of the day. I've been very delinquent with questions of the day this week. My mind hasn't been coming up with anything good, but I'll throw that one out there. Do you still believe, based on what this program has coming back and based on this recruiting class coming in, that the Arizona Wildcats can still win the Big 12 next season? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Can the Wildcats win the Big 12 based on what they have coming back next year and with an incoming recruiting class that right now is ranked 16th out of 16 in the Big 12? Our guy, Rich Carrillo, he chimes in and says, DK, the Cats quarterback room is thin. Noah Fafita, Braden Dorman. If Fafita goes down, it might get ugly. Well, Rich, it could get ugly if you don't have any belief in Braden Dorman. Now, I obviously have not, and none of us have really seen Braden Dorman play extensively in a game, so we don't know what that exactly is. But, hey, none of us had seen Noah Fafita play in a game either before he got on the field and showed us what he can do. You definitely want to have more than 2 scholarship quarterbacks. They've also still got Cole Tannenbaum. He's in the quarterback room. So there's guys in there. And I'm sure that quarterback is going to be a priority, and adding a quarterback is going to be a priority for this program if not even before we get to spring, definitely after the spring when the portal reopens and you have late signees and all of that. I would imagine they'll probably try to get another guy in that room. Rich goes on to say, in terms of he was when I showed my boots on the air, cool boot, don't pull a hammy, my man. I did have a cramp, though. That's what happened. So you can comment with us on our Twitter account, as Rich did, at Wildcats1290. You can also watch our show on our Twitter account at Wildcats Radio 1290. The video stream of this show is also on a number of other locations. We are on Twitch. We are on Facebook Live. We are on YouTube. All of those at Wildcats Radio 1290. You should download our app because it slaps. Download our app right now, and you can basically watch this show. You can comment. There's a lot of different things you can do on our app. So download it now. You can watch all of our past shows. We've got full recap of last night's Suns game. The Suns beat the Bucks 114-106. Kevin Durant, we'll let you hear this coming up a little bit later. Kevin Durant dunked basically on Giannis last night.
He also guarded Giannis most of the game.
Yeah, he did.
He's been doing that a lot lately.
Playing some defense, huh?
Well, he's always played defense. It's just, I think with that roster construction, Kevin Durant, because as far as big, mobile, long, athletic defenders go, I mean, KD's always been a plus defender, but it seems like these last few months he's really taken on that challenge of guarding the best big wing on the opposing team. Yeah. And Giannis, he might be listed as a power forward, but that's not the style of basketball that he plays.
Yeah. Good win, though. Good win, though, against a team that obviously the Suns have history with. Although Kevin Durant is not a part of that history, taking it in and making Suns fans feel good.
Only one player has history. Devin Booker's the only player left from that finals appearance.
Campaign's actually on the other side now.
Right.
He got celebrated last night for his return to Phoenix. Campaign. He was a crowd favorite.
He was always very highly regarded. Yeah. I mean, I think the backup point guard on every NBA team is highly regarded. That's how that works.
Gilbert, also known as Dead Fish, checks in on Twitter and says, I'm not going to try and predict anything until we hit the field. I'm taking a wait-and-see approach. We have a lot of unknowns. Don't know what kind of offense or defense we will run. Absolutely, Gilbert. Dead Fish. You've got that right nailed on the head. We don't know what this is all going to be. I don't even really know what type of offense. I'll be honest with you, I have not watched any Brent Brennan tape of San Jose or anything of that because we don't know. Is it going to be his offense? Is it going to be his offensive coordinator's offense? That's just pointless in my mind. But yeah, we don't know what it's going to be. And that's not the question. The question is, based on what you have coming back right now, you think you have coming back, and a recruiting class, which right now is not ranked very high, do you think this Arizona Wildcats football team can still win the Big 12? Because back in December, at the early signing day, there were a lot of people that thought that. And obviously, things have changed dramatically. So do you still think, or is this going to be a slow roll into the Big 12 now?
I think it's a twofold issue. You're talking about the style they're going to play. The style may change based on the new conference, right? I mean, not to say that coaches don't have a style they bring to the table, but there are minute changes you can make based on the opponents that you're going up against on a regular basis. And number two, recruits, DK, look at styles. They look at the way that a team's playing, and they project themselves into a role, right? Like, I could be the Manu of that team, or I could really see myself as Coleman or whatever. And without that tape from this Arizona team, it's going to take time before there is a pitch, right, to go into those recruits and say, this is the guy that I could see you in a role replacing down the line should you choose to come to Tucson.
Absolutely.
I have another quick NBA note.
Ooh.
The LA Clippers are currently the 1 seed Did you know that?
Well, I knew that your Timberwolves were not playing as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that the Clippers had surpassed.
Have been playing out of their minds the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Are currently the 1 seed in the playoffs, period. They have 4 less losses than the Celtics, who are number 1 in the East, and they just passed because the Timberwolves lost. So in case people weren't paying attention, that team with all those 4 old future Hall of Famers somehow have found the fountain of youth, and they're playing very good basketball right now.
And do you know who's number 2 in the East right now?
Would that be the Cleveland Cavaliers?
The Cleveland Cavaliers. I looked at that the other day. I was like, whoa. I was like, I knew we were playing good, but whoa. Yeah, I didn't know we were up to number 2.
What's their record in the last 20 games? Like 18-2, something like that?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
19-1
So I'm happy. I'm happy about that. I went out to a high school girls basketball game last night.
Yeah?
Yeah, I went way out east and saw a pretty good game between Micah Mountain and Rio Rico. It was for the Conference 4A Gila Region Championship. The Thunderbolts, which is Micah Mountain, came into the game ranked 12th in Conference 4A. Rio Rico was ranked 7th in Conference 4A, but Micah Mountain had a 1-game advantage over Rio Rico in the standings, and Rio Rico was up 8 points in the fourth quarter, but Micah Mountain came back to win the game by a score of 55-50. They really closed well, did the ladies from Micah Mountain. So shout out to the Thunderbolts.
They play well when it's raining.
I think it was actually raining when I left last night there.
Man, Hawks and Thunderbolts so much better than Griffins. That was my mascot when I was in high school.
The Griffins?
Griffins.
And that was Greenfields?
Yeah.
And that, I mean, at least it's, that kind of rhymes.
When you have to explain to people what your mascot is, though, I mean, that's a problem.
What is it then? Because I have no
It's a
idea.
mythical creature with like the head
It's
of
like a dragon.
lion and like the tail of
right?
It's a pieced together mythical fancy creature with a bunch of different animal parts.
Good stuff there.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, explaining your mascot, never fun.
So I'm gonna hand out a couple of prep princesses from this game coming up, but we are way over, so let's get to cricket and traffic here every 20 minutes on the Fives.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. With some slowdowns on I-10, slowing both directions on I-10 approaching the Ajo-Kino connection. Reported collisions at Tangerine west of I-10, a wreck on Manville Road, west of Sanders Road and east of the Brawley Wash. Swan and Sunrise Drive, eastbound backups on Sunrise at Swan, Palo Verde and Irvington, also Overton and Thornydale clearing. And I'm Cricket, and your weather. Rain this afternoon, 44 the overnight, low 59 the high tomorrow. Afternoon and evening showers tomorrow, 45 now. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. Right now at Big O Tires, get up to $160 in rebate savings on 4 select in-stock Michelin tires with installation purchase. See store for details. Offer ends February 19th. So hurry into Big O Tires, the team you trust.
At Blue Moon, we craft our beer with Valencia orange peel and coriander for a brighter flavor that's one of a kind every time. So we decided to craft a one-of-a-kind radio ad using just those ingredients. Orange peel, coriander, 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 orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel, orange peel. Okay, you know what? Maybe we should just stick to crafting one-of-a-kind beers. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
I don't think people understand how much cool air escapes into their walls and attic.
Or how much extra that costs you every month.
If only there was a way to explain how Alaskan AC keeps that from happening. It's kind of like that.
Did you seriously just aeroseal Gary's mouth?
Notice how almost no air is getting through?
True.
You're right, Gary. Only Alaskan AC includes AeroSeal with every AC system we sell. It keeps the cool in your home, not in your walls and attic.
He said all that? What do you say now?
You're probably paying 20 to 50% more than you have to. You'll see savings from your new AeroSeal included systems the very first year.
I had no idea Gary knew so much about AeroSeal.
It's a big part of how we customize heating and air systems so people are comfortable in every room.
I gotta hand it to you, Gary. You know how to make a good point.
A regular pro at this.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot the most important part.
AeroSeal, included with every system at Alaskan AC.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my compadre, Chris Brockman, every Monday on the Overreaction Monday podcast as we dive into the latest headlines across the NFL playoffs. Are you ready, Chris Brockman?
Just as handsome as ever, buddy.
I appreciate you saying that, and I wish I could say the same to you.
Come on.
There is a ton to overreact to, as now every other team that didn't make the playoffs, they're already looking forward to next year. Come react or overreact with us leading up to the big game. Overreaction Monday, wherever you listen.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at gawon'twait.com. That's gawon'twait.com.
We're celebrating 99 years, 8 seconds at a time. The 99th La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo returns February 17th to 25th with action-packed fun for the whole family. Plus delicious food, beer garden, shopping, kids activities, and the Coors Barn Dance. La Fiesta de los Vaqueros Tucson Rodeo, February 17th through 25th at the Tucson Rodeo Grounds. Get your tickets today at 520-741-2233 or TucsonRodeo.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. I was talking about the game I went to last night, the high school girls basketball game, and the Micah Mountain Thunderbirds defeating the Rio Rico Hawks by a score of 55-50. So I want to anoint a couple of prep princesses. There were two young ladies. I couldn't choose between the two of them, so I'm going to give them both a Prep Prince Award for their performance. Soraya Grace Bandy, they're both sophomores, as a matter of fact. How about that? Both these young ladies, they've got a young program over there. They started, I think they played three sophomores and a freshman in that game last night, did Micah Mountain. Soraya Grace Bandy, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists last night. So she gets a Prep Princess Award. And then Kayla Sutton, a sophomore, 5'8" sophomore, also gets a Prep Princess Award. Kayla Sutton, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. So a pair of sophomores from Micah Mountain, Soraya Grace Bandy and Kayla Sutton getting Prep Princesses Award. awards for their performance last night in the Micah Mountain Thunderbolts 55-50 win over Rio Rico to win the Conference 4A Gila Region Championship. Congratulations to those young ladies from Micah Mountain High School. All right, this Friday, we've got a sweet deal for you from Cochise Country Music Festival at Forever Ranch in Benson. The music festival is actually in mid-March, but the sweet deal is this Friday. So don't go down to the Forever Ranch this Friday because nothing's happening there. I'm sure there might be something happening there, but it's not the Cochise Country Music Festival. That's in mid-March. But the sweet deal that we've got going on sale Friday morning at 8:30 at WildcatsRadio1290.com, you can get a 3-day pass, general admission pass, to the Cochise Country Music Festival. And this pass normally would cost you about $200, $199. You can get it for $99.50. This is Friday morning, 8:30 a.m., a sweet deal at WildcatsRadio1290.com. The Cochise Country Music Festival in Benson, March 15th through the 17th. So if you're not, this is the same time as the Pac-12. We're also giving away a chance to win a trip to the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament, which is around the same time. So if you don't go to Las Vegas, you want to stay here in Southern Arizona, head on down to the Cochise Country Music Festival. Great groups are going to be there. Shenandoah, Black Hawk, Eddie Montgomery, Casey Donahue, Neil McCoy, Colin Ray, George Burge, and a whole lot more.
Did you say Real McCoy?
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, okay.
If it was Real McCoy, I would be there. But no. There's actually a really good house show next Friday night up in Phoenix I might have to go to. Remember I was telling you about Jem and Tori?
Yeah.
The wife and the girlfriend of Seven Lions. They're going to be up in Phoenix next Friday night, along with Andrew Bayer and a local outfit called Blue Mystery. So shout out to, if I'm saying that right, I have no idea, Blue Mastery, I think it is. Blue Mastery, which is a local trance house group, is going to be performing that night as well. I believe it is at Sun Bar up in Tempe, but I may have to go up for that.
The game Saturday is not till 7:30.
Yeah, it is a later game Saturday. That's always a good thing. Does that we're back home? No, wait, that's the ASU game.
That's
right?
the ASU game.
Oh,
yeah, that's one game that week.
Yeah, one game week. So I might have to go up and see that show.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
in your
I'm talking about the country music festival, and you got me back on house music festivals. So anyway, you can get more information at thecochisecountryfest.com. And again, this is a sweet deal on Friday morning, 8:30 a.m. on our website, WildcatsRadio1290.com. You can get a 3-day pass to the Cochise Country Music Festival, $199 value for $99.50.
Half price.
Half price, indeed. So head on over and get in on that. All right. How about those Suns beating up on the Bucks last night? Let's hear it.
Devin Booker on the break. Devin Booker is fouled. It goes. Right now, the Suns currently 6th in the West. They're a half game behind Sacramento for 5th in the West. As Booker gets behind the backboard and still scores. Bull shot fake, drives. Wow. Oh, a little scoop from Bull. That was special. Nurkic finds Beal to blow by. Beal steps into the pocket and delivers the mid-range. And now Beal starting to heat up as well. Oh, cocks it back, throws it down and one. Bull drives and a bad pass. Turnover. Antetokounmpo. Oh, and Giannis gets his. And a mean mug. Booker to Durant, working in the middle here. He's got Beasley on him, and no contest for Durant. Chance at a three-point play. Beal gives it up. Durant lines it up and sticks it. Kevin Durant. And Watanabe will run it out. And an 8-point Phoenix victory tonight.
114 to 116. Kevin Durant dunking on Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I had to put them both in because those are back-to-back.
Yeah. Devin Booker finished with 32 points. Kevin Durant, 28 points. Bradley Beal, 25. I think that's what you imagined.
Right.
When you said big three. All three of those guys scoring 25-plus points. The only other person that scored in double figures was Jusuf Nurkic, who had 10 and 10 rebounds in the ball game. Durant, 28 and 10 rebounds. Booker had 32 with 4 assists. And Beal had a double-double with 25 and 10 rebounds. Big win for the Suns as they continue to play extremely well. Afterward, Frank Vogel on his big three learning to play with each other.
You know, each game that those three guys play together builds that cohesion. They find the balance, you know, and what we love about our group is we're going to be a team that beats teams with one of those guys going off for 40 or 50 points, and we're going to be a team that beats those guys with great balance like we did tonight. You know, and you know, I love that those guys are finding their way with that. Bradley was great. You know, he had a great follow-up performance to his 43 points in Washington. Came in, led us during those stretches, but they had that big three in front of our bench late. But he's got a great ability to get downhill and get into the paint, either get to the rim or jam on the brakes for his short pull-up, you know, which has been money for him. So great game for Bradley Beal tonight.
And like J-Dub said, Kevin Durant guarding Giannis primarily last night, not to mention getting those 28 points and 10 rebounds.
Nurk 10. Yeah, Bradley Beal getting 10 at the guard position, but also, you know, KD, we talked about it pregame. A lot of times Giannis just overpowers his primary defender, and that guy's usually not in the play to rebound. You know what I mean? We need second and third defenders to come in and grab the board. So for him to guard Giannis on the ball as much as he did and still get 10 rebounds, very impressive.
Impressive indeed. In terms of KD, he was asked about the individual matchup, having to guard Giannis, and how you can't dictate what great players do offensively.
When you go into a game knowing you're going to defend Giannis, what are some of the things you're focusing on?
You can't focus on a few things. You know, you just – some players are so good that regardless of the scouting report or their tendency, like, you just got to play the game and not try to think too much out there. And rely on physicality, rely on my teammates, and just go from there. You know, you might make adjustments throughout the game. You might change some stuff up throughout the game, but you can't dictate what these great players are going to do. You can't force them a certain way. You just got to go out there and play extremely hard and physical.
What are those moments like for you when you're guarding him, he's guarding you, and you guys get to have that matchup all night?
It's not even about us. It's not even a moment to me. It's not even a thing to me. Like, and I'm sure it's not really a thing to him no more. I mean, maybe when he was younger, coming into the league, trying to establish himself, and he'll see some of the household names but it's about winning the basketball game. And it wasn't a one-on-one battle. He didn't approach it that way, I could tell. He was just trying to play the right way and vice versa.
Man, what would it be like, DK, if you woke up and your coach said, okay, you got Giannis?
Yeah, right.
Right? I mean, just
He'd
watch.
be like, okay, let's go.
Watch that guy play. He plays all shoulders and forearms. I mean, every time he drives the ball, he's leaving bruises.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a challenge. I mean, I think if you're a great player, you want that challenge.
And KD, like I said, KD's really stepped up these last few months and really is taking on that role. You know, obviously there's a couple of perimeter defenders out there who can take on some of the quicker, smaller guards. But you get a guy who's 6'8", 6'9", and above, DK, and it looks like KD, he's going to get that assignment more often than not, and he's really embracing that.
And the Suns showing an ability to close last night. They have not always done that in games this season, but they were able to do that in the win over the Bucks.
We made shots. We made timely buckets. We had a couple turnovers there late in the game when they're kind of desperate to get some stops, and they're trying to get out and, you know, speed the game up. But I felt like we were in control regardless. The end of the third is what did it for us. I mean, once you finish the third quarter with some good momentum, then we can ease into the fourth. But if we – not ease into it, but if fourth – the fourth, we have a little bit more momentum on our side if we finish the third quarter off better. And I think tonight we were tied up for at like the 2-minute mark, I want to say, and then we end up being up 6 going into the fourth. So that was key. And in games in the past, we might have had some good momentum at the end of the third and then lose it quick in 30 seconds. You know, a team tie the game up or go up 5 or 6, and now we fighting uphill. So in the third quarters, I mean, every quarter feeds into the fourth, but the end of the third was huge for us tonight.
Yeah, it was indeed. And let's hear from Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. Beal also liked the way the Suns played in that fourth quarter and how Frank Vogel has been empowering this big three to be cohesive on the court when they are together.
Force, I know everybody makes a crazy deal out of the Force, man, but I think it's our approach to it, just staying aggressive. You know, I think sometimes we got a lead and we want to, I guess, coast or just kind of go through the motions. But I think when we stay aggressive, like we did tonight, it puts us in really better situations of flow, offensively, and then obviously getting stops helps too. So I'm just happy we were able to put it all together tonight.
Frank was talking about how he felt like in those fourth quarter minutes when Book is out and you and KD are out there, he wanted to empower you a little bit more. Has something clicked for you? Has he emphasized being more aggressive in those stretches, or is it just kind of a natural progression?
A little bit of both. I mean, obviously getting my legs and feet and feel of the game back, but him encouraging me and basically and saying in front of the whole team, like, no, we're Brad and Kay, like, let's go, get us going, run actions. And, that's definitely encouraging for sure. It pushes me to continue to be aggressive and help us in however he sees fit. But, when we have that lineup initially out there and to start the fourth, we have to be aggressive for sure.
And then there's Devin Booker, who was very impressed with the job that Kevin Durant did in guarding Mr. Antetokounmpo.
When talking about Giannis earlier, that was Kevin taking that matchup. Like, what does it do for the group when a guy like Kevin in his mid-30s is Giannis in his prime? He's taking that matchup still.
I mean, KD's still in his prime too. So it's it's just that's why who he is, and that's why he's one of the greatest to ever play this game. And it's a domino effect, and we feel it through the locker room. Everybody does. So it keeps everybody on their P's and Q's.
Yeah, and also Booker was followed up and asked about, there was a moment in the game, DK. Bol, if you're not familiar, played at Oregon.
Yeah.
He was injured most of his time in college, but he's always been a fan favorite when he was with Orlando because he's very unique in that he's 7'5", but he tries to play shooting guard, right? So he's handling the ball on the perimeter. And, of course, he's going to be a huge fan favorite. So Booker was asked, first of all, about the gigantic lineup that Coach Vogel put out on the court, and then also about if he's ever had a teammate who had ever gotten a standing ovation like Bol does when he enters the scoring table area.
Devin, what did you think of the three look with Kevin, Drew, or Nurk, and Bol out there? What do you think of that?
Was that I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I got to tune into it. It's a tall-ass lineup.
Monstars lineup right there.
Good. Coach was saying he thought it was more of a matchup with Milwaukee, but is that something that if you just mold in your head right now that you could see moving forward?
I mean, yeah, but that's on Coach. I don't know how efficient we were in that lineup, but I believe in everybody in here. Even the guys that aren't playing, man. The Sabins, the Dose, the Mezzies, top to bottom, we have talent in here, and whoever you throw in those spots, I'm going to rally behind and, make sure they're locked in.
Have you ever played with someone like Bol before where as soon as he's walking to the scorer's table, the crowd is immediately just buzzing?
Jimmer Fredette got that a little bit.
Jimmer, oh my gosh.
He would, right?
Jimmer Fredette. That's a name that brings back bad memories for Arizona people.
Yeah, he had a cup of coffee in the NBA, right?
He did. So we'll talk about Monstars on the other side. I have no idea what that is. You'll have to explain it to me.
Can do.
All right, coming up, that is after Cricket gets you home with traffic and weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported Orange Grove and La Cholla, that's a hit-and-run wreck. Crash occurred on 22nd Street near Keno Parkway, mostly impacting eastbound 22nd Street at Keno. Craycroft and River Road reported. Crash Nogales Highway and Lumber Street. Paula Verde in Irvington. Swan and Sunrise with eastbound backups on Sunrise Drive at Swan. Manville, west of Sanders Road and east of the Brawley Wash for a collision. Rain this afternoon and 44 the overnight low, 59 the high tomorrow with afternoon and evening showers, and 45 and cloudy now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
When you've been part of the fabric of a community for 100 years, you just want to celebrate. So that's what we're doing. It's our 100-year anniversary party on March 23rd, and you're invited.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Football and Miller Lite, America's greatest pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Did you hear what Coach said this week on the Tommy Lloyd radio show?
Is it the angle that the taller guys?
I don't know. You're getting into some Bruce Pascoe type philosophy questions there. Umar's the player I got. He does a lot of great things. He has a lot of strengths, and he has a weakness or two, and one of them is shooting free throws. We got to help him figure that out. So
I will find a physics professor who will probably tell me I'm crazy.
The Tommy Lloyd Radio Show, Mondays at 6 o'clock. You miss a week, you miss a lot. Wildcats Radio, 1290.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attention basketball fans. Wildcats Radio 1290 and Coors Light want to send you to the men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas. We're hooking you up with 2 all-session passes for the tournament, plus $1,000 to cover travel plans, a few nights in a Vegas hotel, and maybe a little extra to spend however you want. If you want to win, check out WildcatsRadio1290.com and sign up. Get all the details and official contest rules at WildcatsRadio1290.com. Good luck from Coors Light and Wildcats Radio 1290.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
Football's biggest game day is finally here. Total Wine and More is ready with spirits and beer. With thousands of options, our selection can't be beat, and our prices are the lowest, no store can compete. Only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Progressive asks, what do a late-night pizza craving,
Pizza place. Can I get 1 large pepperoni pizza?
a newly licensed teen delivery driver, a guaranteed delivery time or its free offer, and your front fence have in common?
Uh-oh.
That's my fence! They can turn your stomach upside down in under 30 minutes.
I'm still getting a tip, right?
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive for great savings and round-the-clock protection.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Football's biggest game day is finally here. Total Wine and More is ready with spirits and beer. With thousands of options, our selection can't be beat, and our prices are the lowest, no store can compete. Only at Total Wine and More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
I don't think people understand how much cool air escapes into their walls and attic.
Or how much extra that costs you every month.
If only there was a way to explain how Alaskan AC keeps that from happening.
It's kind of like that.
Did you seriously just aeroseal Gary's mouth?
Notice how almost no air is getting through?
True.
You're right, Gary. Only Alaskan AC includes AeroSeal with every AC system we sell. It keeps the cool in your home, not in your walls and attic.
He said all that? What do you say now?
You're probably paying 20 to 50% more than you have to. You'll see savings from your new AeroSeal included systems the very first year.
I had no idea Gary knew so much about AeroSeal.
It's a big part of how we customize heating and air systems so people are comfortable in every room.
I gotta hand it to you, Gary. You know how to make a good point.
A regular pro at this.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot the most important part.
AeroSeal, included with every system at Alaskan AC.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Super Bowl 58 coming up this Sunday. We will have it here for you on Wildcats Radio 1290. Our coverage will begin at noon, and we will take you right up to kickoff, which is going to be around 4:30 in the afternoon here. Arizona time. We've got all the programming for you leading up to that ball game.
Depends
so join us right here.
How long the anthem goes, right?
Yeah, it can sometimes, depending on who's singing it, it can go kind of quick.
Well, I always thought that was one of the funkiest prop bets because they've been betting on that for decades. Has been on the books, and like I always thought to myself, like, can't you just give a call to the people representing the people who sing and do some shady stuff there? I mean. It seems like that's a rough thing. You were mentioning that you didn't know the Monstars.
Yes, Monstars.
From the original Space Jam with Michael Jordan. And they are in a amusement park in space, and they challenge them to a basketball game, and they steal a whole bunch of talent from players around the league. Charles Barkley, Sean Bradley, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, and Muggsy Bogues, and those are the Monstars.
So it wasn't like, so I was thinking it had something to do with the tall lineup.
Well, it is because the Monstars in the movie are outrageously tall.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're talking about Sean Bradley, I think, was represented by one of those guys because Sean Bradley was, 7'5"?
Yeah.
And pretty slim. So, yeah, basically the representation of the Monstars was dunking from half court and all that stuff. So having Bull in that lineup with KD and a center, whether it's Nurkic or their backup, the reporter was just pointing out how ridiculously long and tall that lineup is for the Suns.
Yeah. I don't know that Space Jam wasn't my jam, as the kids.
Well, you are a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, so why would you support anything by Michael Jordan?
Right? Yeah,
I understand.
I stopped buying the Nikes.
I understand. I do not doubt it. I understand. I mean, I watched. Bro, I watched all of those series what were they like? They played like 5 out of 6 years in the plaefs. I watched all those series.
Yeah. A lot of disappointment there. All right. Again, 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on the program. I learned a little bit about Monstars today. I hope you did too. Let's talk to our guy, Paul in Phoenix. You're on Wildcats Radio 1290 DK on the Sports Tip.
David, JW, how you guys doing today?
Good, Paul. How are you?
Good, Paul.
Good. David, you gave me a little chuckle earlier. I thought I was the only person who, when I'm like changing my shoes or trying to retie my shoe, that I cramp up.
Getting old stinks, Paul.
It does, doesn't it? Oh my goodness.
Well, you should have seen it.
I got my thing of water here. You know, my Arizona Bowl thing of water with me, but I still apparently am not as hydrated.
Yeah, Paul, you should have seen it. He did like a Kerry Strug move, and he leaned off to the other corner of the room and was trying to show his shoe to the camera. It was great.
Well, you know, it's funny. This is a true confession. I actually, whenever I finish a jar of pickles, I put the pickle juice back in the fridge because I do a little pickle juice sometimes when I start feeling that cramp coming on.
Right.
And it helps me right away. So there you go.
There you go. I've heard that.
I have a question for you, and this is something that whether you answer it today or maybe you circle back in about a month or 2 months or whatever. But I was kind of having a Pac-12 moment here for a second. We are about a month away, and this is no offense to the baseball coverage of Pac-12, but we are a month away from basically watching our final Pac-12 basketball. We've already finished football, but seeing our final Pac-12 basketball because March Madness, of course, is covered by the CBS group, right?
Right.
And I'm kind of feeling a little nostalgic and blah, blah, blah. And then it was brought up in the interview today with Mike Candrea, talking about the media stuff and how the U of A's been prepping for a year and blah, blah, blah. Are you privy to any of that information that you can share as far as, I mean, because, again, we're all used to the Pac-12 network, but yet I don't think there's a big network. And then they mentioned something about ESPN and all that stuff. So do you have any information about what can we expect?
Are they going to pass out antennas, DK?
Oh, God, no, not like the Suns. Because then you definitely won't be able to watch it. We asked Brian Jeffries about that a couple of weeks ago, I think. I'll have to find his answer, and maybe I can post it. Yeah, so basically what's going to happen, it's going to be very similar.
I remember what he said.
Yeah.
He said that right now, the way it works is the Pac-12 is responsible for broadcasts.
Right.
And in the future, Arizona will be responsible for the broadcast.
So essentially, Paul, it's going to go back to the way it was before the Pac-12 network. Now, and I don't know if a lot of people were familiar with the way that it was before the Pac-12 network. So essentially, any game that was not picked up by a major network. So like if the game wasn't on Fox, Fox Sports or ESPN or any of those games, then it was produced in-house by the University of Arizona Athletic Department. And that's kind of like when I came in here in 2008, that's what we did. You'll remember when Dave Sitton used to do the games on TV.
Oh, yes, I did. That's right.
Those were he was the in-house broadcaster. So those were the games that were produced by, at the time it was IMG College Learfield were the ones that produced those games through the university. So it'll go back to something very similar to that through ESPN Plus. Any games that aren't picked up. So a lot of those games, like with the Morgan States and the UTSAs and UT Arlingtons and all those games, the games that you see on the Pac-12 network now, those will largely be produced by the home schools and aired on ESPN Plus. And I do believe in order to watch ESPN Plus, that is a subscription-based thing. So you will need to pony up some money to watch that. Now, which is interesting because I don't have it. I don't have ESPN Plus. When I worked at Channel 4, Paul Sakala had it, so he would just give me his password if I ever needed it. So we're all probably gonna have to pony up some money to get ESPN.
Well, did you hear
Plus.
the big news that came out late yesterday? Warner, Fox, ESPN are going to have a joint streaming service coming out.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of like they did with Hulu.
I guess, is this going to be, do you think, again, this is totally premature, but is this a good thing, you think? I mean, because, of course, I've gotten spoiled with the Pac-12 network, and it's part of my Cox cable package, and just I can go to the channel, and it's there, and blah, blah, blah. But is this going to be a good thing, or am I going to be like frustrated, like, oh, I got to go to an app to watch this and blah blah?
Well,
what's your thought?
It's going to be harder. At least the way that it's set up now. Now that could change. It might be a whole different configuration of how it's available to consumers. But the way that ESPN, if it's like ESPN Plus is set up right now, it's absolutely going to be harder to watch it than it was. It's just going to be more steps. And like I would always, in terms of ESPN Plus, I was always watching that on a computer. I'm sure there's ways you can watch it on a TV. I don't know what those are because I've never done that.
Right. Okay. So now, what about you guys? I'm not trying to be funny. Okay, but will you guys have any opportunity to cover any pregame stuff for a network, like for a game like that, like a UT Arlington or something like that? Would you guys be TV stars again?
Well, I've got TV experience. If they certainly want to talk to me about that, I would be interested in listening. I can only speak for myself.
Right. No. But wouldn't those conversations have already been taking place a little bit, or is it still? I mean, are we still 10 months? Well, no. Football is not too far away when you really think about it.
I would think in terms of the talent, that probably is not. I would think those conversations will start to take place later in the spring.
Well, they have a whole transition group,
now,
right?
in terms of the production side of it, I'm sure they've been having those conversations. And I don't know. They may have talent already lined up and have not already said. Generally, just speaking of my knowledge of how the industry works as it relates to these types of situations, normally those talent decisions aren't made until closer towards the end of the school year.
Okay, and then I'll just one more thing, and I'll leave another comment after that. But one real quick. So, will the spring football games not be carried by the Pac-12, or will it technically still, since we're still part of the Pac-12?
Well, yeah, but everything is the Pac-12 through the end of the fiscal, which is June 30th. Okay. So that's totally up to them, because generally the spring is considered the next year. They might not. I mean, that, I couldn't answer that question. I'll see maybe if we can get an answer to that question for you. I haven't heard anything along the lines on whether or not they're going to be carrying spring football or not. I would imagine it just from my standpoint, I don't know that it would make a whole lot of sense, just because, again, there's not, the spring is about next year and there is no next year. So that wouldn't make any sense to me for them to carry that, and to spend the money to carry that.
It's just going to be like a retrospective of the years of the Pac-12, the network.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so then I'll leave you guys with this. So tomorrow and Saturday, why not let us be the ones to give Utah and Colorado their first home losses? And we're very capable of doing it. We're very capable. And I think if that's not enough for those guys, I think it will be motivation enough. And I can see it. I think we're going to well. Will we win them both? Why not? Why not? Right? Why not? So
they gave one to Oregon, right?
Always. Yeah, exactly. See? Yeah. So there we go. So hey, you guys take care. Thanks a lot. I'll keep listening.
Thanks a lot, Paul. We always appreciate
you.
Down. Bear down, indeed. All right, yeah, that would be great. Let's go hang some L's. Go hang some L's in the Rocky Mountains. Let's go make it snow.
Wasatch.
Make it snow out there.
I think it's already snowing out there.
Yeah, well, we'll make it snow inside then.
Okay.
There we go. He's J-Dub. She's Cricket. I'm David Kelly. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Thank you for listening to us here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported, have a crash at Sunrise Drive in Swan with eastbound backups on Sunrise Drive at Swan. Also reported in clearing, Nogales Highway and Lumber Street, collision on Manville west of Sanders Road and east of the Brawley Wash. Craycroft and River Road. Also Naranja and La Choya just reported a collision Alvernon Way south of Speedway Boulevard. Rain this afternoon, possibly some sprinkles into this evening. 44 our overnight low, 59 the high tomorrow with afternoon and evening showers, and 43 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report.
People really need to get off of Brock Purdy. I mean, what has this guy ever done to anybody ever other than win football games and lots of them? Well, that and gone from the last pick in the draft to starting a Super Bowl in under 2 years. That any good? Apparently not, because it seems like all anybody wants to do is hate on this dude. The haters want to say the guy's just a product of the system. He's a game manager. He's not elite, and a bunch of other nonsense. At this point, we have heard it all, and at this point, it is extremely tired. But yesterday, the haters found a brand new way to troll this dude by comparing him to Lee Harvey Oswald, a.k.a. the book depository guy. Really? I ask because I can't believe it really happened, but it really did. Yesterday, Brock was asked if anybody ever told him he looks like Lee Harvey Oswald.
O'Reilly.
Get a
better, brighter view of the road with Sylvania bulbs at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Replace your worn-out bulbs today and see better tonight. Now get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate with the purchase of select Sylvania Twin Pack bulbs. Receive 2 times O-Rewards points on select Sylvania bulbs during O-Rewards bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Tender steaks, juicy burgers, tasty chicken. Omaha Steaks is love at first bite. Now get 4 free boneless chicken breasts and 4 free boneless pork chops with your order at omahasteaks.com/sizzle. Omaha Steaks Butcher's Cut Filet Mignon, top sirloin, premium ground beef patties. It's heartland perfection. Order at omahasteaks.com/sizzle and score 4 free chicken breasts and 4 free pork chops. Minimum purchase may apply.
Omaha Steaks, America's original butcher.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Can't get enough of your Arizona Wildcats? Make sure to stop by Taco Bell in the spring for a meet and greet opportunity with some of your Arizona men's basketball players at Taco Bell. Pick up your favorite Taco Bell combo and live Moss with an autograph or photo from Kylan Boswell and Keyshawn Johnson. Taco Bell, locally owned and operated and proud partner of Arizona Athletics. Bear down and live Moss.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Make sure your family is safe and warm during the cooler months. I'm Ron Arenas, the owner of Picture Rock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. Heating is our middle name, and we can make sure your furnace is running efficiently. Call us at 520-440-4069 for honest heating and plumbing service to the Tucson area for over 20 years.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
National Signing Day across America. Where are the kids going to play football? Are they coming to Arizona? Are they going to other places? Let's shout out some of our local kids. Stevie Rocker, who played at the University of Arizona out of Canyon del Oro High School, has transferred to Montana. Gone Stevie. Kill it up there, brother. We've got Keanu Wilhite out of South Point Catholic High School. Initially was going to go to Arizona. Then I believe he had opted to go to Washington. Now he's going to land at Nebraska. Congratulations to Keanu. Now again, we've got a policy here. We no longer talk about commitments. And this was after that, those shenanigans that went down during the summertime. And I said, we're not talking about commitments on this show anymore because commitments don't mean anything. But when you do make your signing on the dotted line, when you make it official with a signature, then we'll shout you out and we'll talk about you again. So congratulations to all the young folks out there signing on the dotted line today to go out and play their college sport of choice. And it's not just football. There are a lot of different sports that are signing today. We'll get you talk a little bit more about it on Friday. We'll get you a list of some of the top kids locally who have had a chance to sign and where they're going and all of that. So congratulations, though, to everyone. Anytime you can sign and go to play sports at the next level, it is something to be celebrated. But you know, the one thing I always found interesting about it, J-Dub, it's kind of funny, and not to poo-poo any college athletic opportunity.
Sure.
Because anytime you can get an offer to play sports in college, it's something, like I said, it's something to celebrate.
It can be life-changing.
It was and it was an opportunity that I was never afforded. But man, I remember when I was covering this stuff on TV, every year I would find out about colleges I had never heard of.
Sure.
I mean, never heard of. I'm like, where's that school? But again, it goes again. It's a lot different now than it was back when I was growing up, and that's fine. I mean, back when I was growing up, the only signings that were celebrated were the major signings. If you had a kid going D1, like I grew up in the Midwest, if you had a kid going to Ohio State, if you had a kid going to Illinois, if you had a kid going to Indiana or something like that, those were the signings that were celebrated. So you knew about that. Now, all the signings are celebrated from every level, to kids signing to go to junior college all the way up.
There's a simple reason for that. Because back in the days when you were a manager at USC, there were 12 publications nationally. And now there are 100,000 people whose job it is to follow high school athletics and the transferring to the next level. Right? I mean, there's just so many different avenues. So many people have made it their employment to do that kind of thing, that now there's so many more voices and for the better, because think about the scouting that even went on back then.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, clearly teams sent out their, assistants to scout on the road and whatever. But as far as third party people scouting and coming up with these scouting services, which clearly are not always correct, but you do get so many more eyeballs. And in today's day and age, smartphones and, good camera equipment, so you actually get to see some good footage. So the industry growing up, I think, is, for as many down voices and negativity as there may be in that arena, there's definitely a lot of positives that come out of that, because like you said, it's not just the Ohio State signees who are getting attention, and deservedly so.
Yeah. So shout out to all those schools that I've never heard of. I was like, what? I wish I had written all those schools down. I was like, every time I found out about a new school that I'd never heard of, I wish I had written those all down and made a list of them. But very interesting where signing day has gone in this era as to where it has been in past eras.
You also nailed in the first segment about how it used to be, December.
Yeah.
And now that there's multiple...
No, it used to be February.
Now that there's December signing day, you have a situation where how much of that is done just via social media as opposed to any kind of official announcements with schools?
Yeah, well, the schools still do it like today. Like today, there were high schools all over the state, all over the city that had signing events. So the schools do it today, I think, more so. I don't know that some of them, I think, may have done it in December, but usually it's right around the time school's getting out, so it might be kind of awkward to do an event like right before break.
Sure.
Whereas, everybody's in school now, so it's a little bit easier to do those events now in this time frame. Like I said, my first day at Channel 13 was National Signing Day in 2012. That was like my first gig, and I was like a half hour late because I got the time wrong.
Did you make that mistake again?
Damien Alameda was not happy with me that day.
I'm sure you made up for it.
He was not happy with me that day. Shout out to Damien. I saw him today, my guy. So the Arizona Wildcats, according to On3, early signing period, they were 43rd in the nation. Signing period today, they are now they actually, since this show started, J-Dub, they have moved up.
They're climbing.
From 91st to 90th.
I think Troy probably put a good word in.
Well, that's not Troy's outfit.
Oh.
We're looking at the other outfit.
Gotcha.
We're looking at the one that right now is making it easy for me to just figure it all out. without having to jump through 3 different pages to
because they haven't
to piecemeal Arizona now from the Pac-12 over to the rest of the schools in the Big 12.
have yet to make that transition.
Yeah. So shout out to On3 right now for making it much easier for me to view all of this and figure it out. So we'll find out who these kids are when they get here. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know anything about any of them, but I wait until they get on the field here in an actual Arizona jersey, and I can lay eyes on them myself.
Yeah.
Like I said, the only one I know a little bit, just talking to Scotty Graham about Jordan Washington, and he was so high on that kid. So I'm really anxious to see this Jordan Washington, this running back out of Long Beach, Jordan.
I don't look at your statement of not knowing as a negative, because I think of it like this. I think of it as there are so much noise. There's so many people trying to tell you what to think and feel and all that stuff. But people should know that you're at every practice that you're available to go to, that's open for you to be at. And so you obviously want to be able to put your own eyes on the players and be able to have your own feel from them without it being corrupted by some kind of idea that you got from a third party before you've had a chance to see them for yourselves.
Yes. So our question of the day, and I've got this up now, so you can head on over to our Twitter page, Wildcats1290, and vote on it, is with the departure of Jed Fish, the arrival of Brent Brennan, the coaching change, the drop, as I've said, from 43rd to now 90th in recruiting in this class ranking, according to On3 Sports. Based on that and what the Cats have returning, quarterback Noah Fafita, Tetro McMillan, most of the offensive line, potentially Takario Davis, although we don't know yet on the defensive side of it. But you got the DBs back. You've got Traden Stukes, Gunnar Maldonado, Dalton Johnson, 3 very important pegs in that defense from last year. Based on all of that, do you still think the Cats have an opportunity, have a chance to win the Big 12? Right now, 70% of you saying yes. Arizona can still win the Big 12 based on what they have coming back, even though this recruiting class right now is not ranked very highly. 70-30, yes, still loaded, to no, too many defections.
How much of that has to do with there's, no Ohio State or Alabama or those kind of schools, right? I mean, you look at the schools that are leaving that conference.
Right.
I think a lot of people, the conversation was going in was, well, hey, if Utah and Arizona return all of their players or most of their players next season, they could be among the favorites to win that conference. So I think maybe those votes have a little bit to do with the conference that Arizona is about to join. And again, no disrespect to the teams over there that are very good, but there's really no clear head and shoulders above everybody else top 10 type team and program over there right now.
Philip Schmidt checks in on YouTube. He is watching the show on YouTube today and says, in terms of Arizona's recruiting class, I was just thinking the same thing myself. We're getting junior college transfers, New Mexico and San Jose State transfers. It doesn't inspire confidence. That's Philip Schmidt, who's checking in on YouTube. Brad Hawk, Coach B. Hawk, chimes in on Twitter. I'll add that it isn't a given or any expectation like I was feeling after we beat OU. Let me rephrase that because I didn't read that very well. I'll add that it isn't a given or an expectation like I was feeling after we beat OU, but I still feel this is a possibility and completely realistic to talk about the college football playoff, even if we don't win the Big 12, which is, again, you don't necessarily have to win the Big 12 to get into the college football playoff. I think that would obviously help, but it's possible to do that as an at-large.
The thought was what? Like there would be 5 Power 5s and then, some at-larges then some of the other conferences. But there's now not 5 Power 5 conferences anymore, right?
True.
So,
but I think you're still getting, so you may actually have more at larges,
right? That's what I mean.
Is that in that respect?
That's what I mean.
But you'd have to. I think you would have to make the Big 12 championship game at least to have a shot at the playoffs.
Otherwise, it's going to be 5 SEC teams, right?
Right. And we don't want that.
No, nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. No. Just Art, who also goes by, we won't say what that other name is because that's not appropriate. But just Art says, I'm going to pick C. There's a chance they can pick up more grad transfers who can bolster their depth. They could also lose some dudes after spring ball. That's going to be the interesting thing, is what happens after spring. Once these guys, they're going through the workouts now, and then they get on the field for those 15 practices and they get a chance to see what it really is, then we're going to find out where we are in terms of, okay, who leaves after spring ball. April 16th, I think, is what you heard Troy say earlier, is about the time that the date where you can transfer after the spring, because that's essentially, I think, when most teams are done with spring practice at that point. So we'll have to wait and see on that. All right, so you can head on over to our Twitter page at Wildcats1290. You can vote in the poll there. You can comment on the poll there. You can also comment like Philip Schmidt did on our YouTube channel. You can also comment. I don't know that I put the question up yet on Facebook, but I will later, and you can comment on it there on Facebook as well.
I got a question.
Okay.
Pat, Kurt Hergstreet or Lee Corso or Desmond Howard, which one of those guys does have to leave game day?
Wait, which one of those guys has to leave?
Well, when Nick Saban retired, there was this big carousel that affected the Arizona Wildcats football program. We've been talking about it, and news came out that Nick Saban is now joining game day, so that means he's got to be kicking somebody off of that program.
Oh, so that's official now?
Apparently so.
Okay. Well, I think what's going to happen is they're going to not necessarily completely get rid of Coach, but I think they're going to downsize Coach. Yeah. And he'll only be in the show for, the big moment at the end, and picking maybe hats. Picking the thing at the end, putting on the helmet or the hat or the mascot mask or whatever at the end, and then maybe one or two segments during the show. But I would think that Saban will transition into that Coach Corso role.
Yeah, that's probably likely.
Yeah, which again, Coach Corso has been the face of that program.
Yeah,
since the beginning, since really the beginning.
Yeah,
and you want to see him remain in some role there as long as he is able to. But
agreed.
Yeah, Coach Saban will definitely be the primary coach voice, I would think, on that show moving forward. And that's a good choice for them. Very good choice. Like I said, Coach Saban, I'm not an Alabama fan, but, liked him when he was in Cleveland back in the day as the defensive coordinator with Belichick, and always knew that he would be very successful in whatever he did.
It's funny because I don't know of a lot of sound bites of Nick Saban analyzing college football as much as sound bites of him being snarky with reporters.
Right.
So,
because, he was never on any of those coach. They have the coach cast,
right?
Because he was always playing in the game.
Right.
His team was always in the game, so he was never in any of those
successful
coaching national championship broadcasts. But I think he'll be fine.
He'll be great.
He'll be fine. Yeah. All right. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the Fives. We'll dive into Mike Candrea over the course of the remainder of the show after Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the Fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Eastbound slowing on Valencia as you approach Old Vale Road. Also some backups for the eastbound side of I-10 approaching the Ajo-Kino connection. Reported collisions at Broadway and Craycroft, St. Mary's in Grande, Naranja and La Choya, and also 22nd Street and Kino clearing. And a crash in the foothills at Craycroft and River Road. We do have a chance of possibly some sprinkles overnight tonight. 44 the overnight low, 59 the high tomorrow with afternoon and evening showers, and about 44 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need for the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, it's guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Okay, kids, we're home. Everybody out.
Ew, my feet are stuck.
In what, honey?
On the floor.
Ew. Take off your shoes. Tommy, come carry your sister into the house.
What do you do when the car you use the most has the least amount of time to get clean? Let Recon Auto Detailing, Arizona's premier auto detailing company, come to you and turn your busiest car back into your best. From basic cleaning to a full detail, Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Our beautiful Arizona winter weather brings cooler overnight temperatures, which means some of you are now seeing your vehicle's low pressure warning light. Colder overnight temperatures can lower your tire's pressure just enough to trigger a warning light. But don't worry, many times the solution is simply adding the correct amount of air to your tires. Then get back to enjoying the fantastic winter weather. If adding the air doesn't do the trick, stop by any of our 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if you need help with the low pressure warning light, we fix those too. Mention this radio offer for free installation with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. We'll install it in your wheel and rebalance your tires absolutely free. You'll find even more specials to get your car road trip ready at jackfurriers.com. So call ahead, make an appointment online, or just drop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Hey, it's David Kelly. Do you know the radio is not the only place to find Wildcats Radio 1290? You can stream us by downloading our 1290 app.
A deep three is good, and the Cats are on top.
We're also available on the iHeartMedia and Odyssey apps, or head to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com.
Touchdown, Cats.
We're even on Alexa. Just ask her to put on Wildcats Radio 1290 so you never miss any of Southern Arizona's most important and in-depth conversation.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we fight. We fight for accident victims, injured workers, abused seniors, those harmed by dogs, negligence, or malpractice. We fight the government and big corporations. And most importantly, we fight the insurance companies. We've been fighting for Arizonans since 1989. We go to court, we fight, and we win. Call Goldberg and Osborne and let the Eagle fight for you. Now accepting work injury cases.
Go Wildcats! As the new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
Get the backyard you've always wanted with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you're ready to dive in, then visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Schedule now and get 3 months of full service free. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. First Choice Pools, the first and only choice. Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Come join our growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man!
We are Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, let's before we get to Mike Candrea, we have a call there. Is that correct? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that first. 520-848-1290. We'll chat with T-Money. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
gentlemen. Hey, I happen to hear that Candrea presser. You did a great job on that. Hey, normally I would be kind of concerned with this 90, 91 ranking, whatever, on the recruiting. This can all be traced back to Fish. Like, he didn't leave the cupboards bare. He was an outstanding recruiter. But I also want to thank him for the way he left in such a terrible way to where his own recruits didn't even want to follow him. So I'm not freaking out because they stayed. So if we didn't have the nucleus that we have now, I think it would be panic button time. But being that Fafita and T-Mac and a lot of the guys in the core of the defense, like you're talking about, are going to be in place, I think that we can absorb this, and hopefully this new regime can do a little. They didn't have a lot of time, but they can do a little bit better next year on the recruiting trail. But I think this year we can absorb it. But it may be an anomaly. We may do better in our first year in the Big 12 and then kind of drop off the second and third year and have to rebuild. But we'll see. I'm not too concerned about this next year coming up.
All right. I mean, T-Money, you definitely got a point there. I mean, again, we kind of knew that there was going to be a hit. I didn't necessarily think it was going to be that big a hit, but I think, again, with what you've got coming back, I think this team is set up for some success this coming year. I think you're absolutely right when this, the results of what happened today could be something that we look at now 2 or 3 years from now and say, okay, yeah, that's kind of what happened there. So.
Yeah, just to put on the Homer hat real quick, I remember a 3-star coming out of SoCal in the early 90s. Nobody saw it coming, and he had a huge chip on his shoulder, and he was a world beater, one Theodore Bruschi. So hopefully, I mean, if this guy is a Tomey disciple, maybe he's going to find some diamonds in the rough that the recruiting services don't see.
And coach him up, right?
Coach him up, that's right.
There you go. Appreciate you, T-Money, for checking in. Thanks so much. All right, we had a chance to hear from Mike Candrea. Let's dive into this over the course of the final 30-plus minutes of our show. Mike Candrea will hear his opening statement as he sat down in front of the media today. It is your Desert Diamond Casino replay.
Good to see everyone. Kind of in a different role. I wish I was sitting here talking about a game that we just won, but something a little bit different. But just want to say that I'm honored when Dr. Robbins called me up and said, would I step in and try to keep the ship afloat, and truthfully, that's kind of my job right now, walking in here and trying to gather as much information I can. I know we're in a very difficult situation, but I can promise you that this leadership team is working extremely hard to find out how we got here and how we can get out of it. And I feel very good about the progress we've made in the last week, doing our due diligence. Crystal and Eric Barnes, some people that have been around this department for a long time, I think, bring some history. But it is a challenging time, and there's no doubt about it. But I feel good about what we're doing right now, trying to increase communication, trying to answer as many questions as I can. I've been on the job for a week, so be kind to me. That's all I can say right now. But I'm very excited. This is a place that I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in, and I love this community. I love this university. And when I was asked to step in and plug a hole for a small period of time, or whenever it may be, there was no doubt in my mind that I would love to do it. So I'm honored, and hopefully I can answer some questions that you have. But I think moving forward right now, I was at the Big 12 meetings last week, and very excited about that opportunity for this department. And I think we're working very hard to make that transition as smooth as possible. Brent Blaylock and Crystal Swindlehurst have been on the transition team. And the good part of it is that I was a member of that too. So I've got a little bit of information on what we need to do. And I think our first priority was announcing the ticket increase, and that has been something that has been going on for a lot longer than just right now. I think they have done their due diligence to look back and kind of see where we're at in relationship to the Big 12 and to really the Tucson community, because I've always been a firm believer that my job as a softball coach back then was to sell football season tickets. The more season tickets I could sell, the more it would help the big picture. And that hasn't changed. I think right now, if I look back, we're a pretty good bargain. And so I think there was a time right now that we needed to kind of get into the game when we moved into the Big 12. And we have made some increases. But I think looking at the response so far, it's been positive. I'm sure there's been some negative also, but, we'll kind of deal with that as we go. But I'm just thankful to be here, and, I'm a servant leader, and that's what I'm here to do, is try to serve this university as long as Bobby asked me to do it.
All right, that was the opening statement from Mike Candrea at his press conference today. The new interim athletics director and longtime softball coach would go on to talk about what he brings to the table in this role.
I think I bring maybe a different approach to the group. All I know is how to build a culture, and one of the big things in athletics and on your team is just solid communication. I mean, you got to know what everyone's doing, and looking in right now, those are some things that I'm trying to enhance a little bit. Is how do we communicate all of this information so that the right people are on the same page, and anything that goes out of this office has been thought through and with a fine-tooth comb, and it's one collective voice. And so that was kind of been my theme, is that when you get in tough situations like this, you have to rely on your people. We have very good people here. But on the other hand, it has to be a collective effort moving forward, because there is some trying times, but, revenues and expenses aren't quite matching up for a lot of different reasons. If you kind of look back the last 3 or 4 years, we've gone through a very challenging time in athletics, with the NC2A deregulation, COVID. When I first got here as an advisor to Dave, and I want to thank Dave for the job he did. I think he did a very, very good job, and gave me some big opportunities in my latter parts of my career in coaching. I really felt like this challenge right now was difficult for a lot of reasons that we really didn't have control over. When I got on the job, we had just hired 6 new head coaches. Well, that takes money, and so we have done a lot of good things to get our football program where it belongs. I think our basketball program's in a good shape, and I look around the department, we have some very good coaches that are doing great jobs. But there's a price to pay that is different than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. And so I think right now, moving forward, we have to look at a different model to make this all happen. And so right now, we're just trying to go back to a little bit of history as to how did we get here, and what do we need to do to find something that can be affordable, yet keep our programs competing for national championships. Because moving into the Big 12, I think we have an opportunity to be in the top part of that conference. And then if you look at what's happening in football, God knows what tomorrow's going to look like, with football. So there's a lot of moving parts that I think have got us in this position right now. I can't really pick one thing, but I do think that we need to take a snapshot of it all and try to formulate a plan moving forward that we can all work with.
Well, and that's something we have talked about in terms of this transition to the Big 12. And when you looked at kind of last year where the Wildcats were as an athletic department, and I've said before that both Arizona and Arizona State, based on their performances on the field last year, would both be top 5 programs overall heading into this new conference based on the Directors Cup standings. Mike Candrea says his number one goal is?
And I think the biggest improvement for me is just the communication piece. Making sure information is out there. And as soon as I get information, I'm very transparent, and I want people to know why we're doing things.
It sounded like that might have been a situation under the previous administration, that maybe the communication within the department was not what was wanted. Maybe the communication as a whole was not that was wanted, but it sounds like that is where Mike wants to start in being very transparent with his staff, as well as being very transparent with the public about where things are right now with Arizona athletics.
I mean, after the financial difficulties, right? I mean, there's a lot of questions being asked about that. And so it feels like definitely something you want to attack head on in a press conference like this, in that some of the questions being asked about what's going on behind the scenes, right? And your number one priority wants to be, making sure that everything's above board and that everybody is on the same page and knows what's going on.
Now, there is a hiring freeze right now, and it's across the university. It's something that Dr. Robert C. Robbins, the president of the University of Arizona, has talked about at length. And Mike Candrea was asked if this hiring freeze is affecting athletics and how it's affecting athletics.
Well, the hiring freeze, it does affect us in a small way right now. We have some positions right now that have been not filled yet, but have been on the docket. So I think you're going to see us filling a few. We've got to get our football staff in order and ready to roll. So there are some things that I think right now, immediately, that we will face the challenge of completing those. But moving forward, we're truly looking for ways that we can kind of get our hands around this thing, And so I can promise you the first week has been nothing more than looking at numbers and looking at finances and looking at models and looking at ways that we can get better at what we're doing right now.
He did go, and earlier he talked about that they are already in the works of raising ticket prices. In fact, season ticket holders, I believe, have already gotten some of those numbers
hot
in
dog
terms
prices
of
too, right?
Yeah, well, that's what John Arnold said. John Arnold said the concessions prices would go up. He did not. Mike Candrea did not. I probably should have asked Mike Candrea if my pausing clause, if they were raising
the important
the
questions,
price.
right?
Exempt. Are you raising, Mike? Are you raising the price on pausing clause? Because if you are, that's not right. We did not ask him if he was going to raise the price of hot dogs, but I'm sure that if the ticket prices are going up, usually the concessions prices are not that far behind. Now, of course, last week there was the big to-do about there was a line item on the Regents report something they were supposed to address about Tommy Lloyd's contract. And Tommy Lloyd came out and said that he didn't know why that line item was on there because there had been no agreement. Well, Mike Candrea was asked if he has been involved with the contract talks involving an extension for head basketball coach Tommy Lloyd.
I have not been involved with it, but I do know that it is a high priority.
It is a very high priority. Very high priority there. And that's going to be interesting. That'll be interesting to see if that's something. And I guess maybe the one question that did not get asked today is what authority does Mike Candrea have in terms of, does he have the authority to give Tommy Lloyd an extension? Now, ultimately, that falls on the Board of Regents, but he would have to lead that. Does he have the authority right now to make coaching changes if he felt he needed to do that? I don't know that there are any programs right now at the University of Arizona, knock on wood, where you would need to make any coaching changes. I think they're all, at a level. You've got some new young coaches with your struggling programs who are building, and you've got some quality veteran coaches who have solidified programs. So I don't know that he's in a position where he would have to fire anybody or hire anybody in this interimship. We'll hear more from Mike Candrea coming up, but regarding something that Tommy Lloyd talked about last week as well, as it relates to a gathering that was held for members of the athletic department. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Madden is here. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Slowing on eastbound Valencia at Old Vale Road. Also some backups for the eastbound side of I-10 approaching and passing the Ajo-Kino connection. Collisions that are reported: Country Club north of Pima, Tanque Verde and Sabino Canyon, Rita Road and Rankin Loop, St. Mary's and Grande, also Naranja and La Cholla. And for your weather, we have 44 our overnight low, 59 the high tomorrow with afternoon and evening showers, and about 46 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by KFC. KFC's new Smashed Potato Bowl is here. Fries, mashed potatoes, cheese, and bacon come together to make a smashable snack that's only $3.49. It's finger-licking good.
Coach Tommy Lloyd here. Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing is the ultimate team when it comes to your home's comfort.
Thinking about replacing your heating and air system? It's February at Right Way.
These are some of the slowest months of the year. We have equipment in stock and our crews are available.
And to spark business, we're including an 80% furnace absolutely free with the purchase of an air conditioning system.
And if that's not enough, we'll include a Wi-Fi thermostat, 10-year parts and labor warranty, plus we have zero interest financing available.
Call or text 520-200-2422 or visit rightwayac.com.
People who suffer from arthritis are getting real pain relief with exciting biologic therapies at QC Kinetics.
The success rate is there, and there's no better way to treat yourself when it comes to dealing with pain.
Meet Tyler Vale, co-founder of QC Kinetics, who says they can't cure arthritis, but they can treat the pain.
If you think of the tide coming in and out on the beach and what it does, it erodes the sand, right? Can't stop the tide, but eventually when the sand or the beach gets bad enough, we backfill that beach with sand so that we get generations of enjoyment with that beach again. And the same thing happens with your knee or your shoulder or your hip or your back. We want to backfill the problems that have happened to this point. I'm not stopping the tide, so I'm not stopping the arthritis, but I want to get generations of enjoyment out of those joints again.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. Learn more about how restorative biologic therapies can get you real and lasting joint pain relief.
Call QC Kinetics, 520-497-4955. That's 520-497-4955. 520-497-4955.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McHale Center this season. Single game tickets start as low as $17 and are available for purchase now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Tickets are available at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McHale Center.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Football and Miller Lite, America's greatest pairing. Can cracks a kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Knocking on bar tops for luck. Kicking back on any given Sunday. You never forget the way some things taste. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
I don't think people understand how much cool air escapes into their walls and attic.
Or how much extra that costs you every month.
If only there was a way to explain how Alaskan AC keeps that from happening.
It's kind of like that.
Did you seriously just aeroseal Gary's mouth?
Notice how almost no air is getting through?
True.
You're right, Gary. Only Alaskan AC includes AeroSeal with every AC system we sell. It keeps the cool in your home, not in your walls and attic.
He said all that? What'd he say now?
You're probably paying 20 to 50% more than you have to. You'll see savings from your new AeroSeal included systems the very first year.
I had no idea Gary knew so much about AeroSeal.
It's a big part of how we customize heating and air systems so people are comfortable in every room.
I gotta hand it to you, Gary. You know how to make a good point.
A regular pro at this.
Oh, that's right.
Forgot the most important part.
AeroSeal, included with every system at Alaskan AC.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wildcats Radio 1290 and Coors Light want to send you to the Pac-12 men's basketball tournament in Las Vegas, the final run, just like Paul from Phoenix was saying, the final Pac-12 men's basketball tournament is coming up March 13th through the 16th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and we want to send you there. But what you got to do is you got to head on over to our website, wildcatsradio1290.com, and sign up to enter our contest. Grand prize, 2 all-session passes for the tournament, $1,000 in cash cards to cover whatever you need. It'll cover your travel. It'll cover your hotels or cover your meals, your gambling, whatever. You want to get one of those big fancy drinks from Fat Tuesday that everybody likes to walk down the strip with? You can get those with those $1,000 in cash cards. Got to enter to win, though. Head on over to wildcatsradio1290.com. Sign up right now. Pac-12 men's basketball tournament. Great prizes. 2 all-session passes, $1,000 in cash cards. You could be a winner. Good luck from Coors Light and Wildcats Radio 1290. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Final phase of our program here today. Tomorrow we are in basketball mode. Our coverage will begin at 2 o'clock with the Meridian Wealth Management Countdown to Tip-Off Show, Arizona versus Utah on the road. We'll hear from Tommy Lloyd tomorrow. We'll hear from Mateus Krivas. Spoke yesterday. I had to leave before Mateus got there, but I saw him whizzing in. They're all riding around on those motorized scooters nowadays.
Of course they are.
Which is a lot safer than the standing ones that DeAndre, I think DeAndre was the first one that I saw on one of those standing scooter deals, and I used to always cringe when I saw that.
Back to the Future scooter.
Yeah, when I saw DeAndre Ayton riding around on that thing, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's like our center is like one bad move from being out.
Well, you imagine
breaking his neck on that.
Some insurance involved with players of that caliber.
I sure hope so.
Yeah,
I sure hope so. But yeah, now the motorized scooters. It was like Kelvin asked Skylar Jones. She rode up on one of those. He's like, I'm surprised the deal lets you ride that thing. It's like the last thing you want, especially Adidas only got seven players. So we'll find out tomorrow if Kalen gets on the plane to Los Angeles for the weekend. We'll get more into that on Friday as we get ready for a weekend of women's basketball. Friday night at UCLA, Monday at Southern California. Okay, want to get back to Mike Candrea. First, I want you to hear. So Tommy Lloyd, again, we played the part there. In fact, let's play again for the folks, J-Dub, what Mike Candrea said when he was asked if he's been involved in the contract extension talks with Tommy Lloyd.
I have not been involved with it, but I do know that it is a high priority.
Okay. So a few weeks ago, there was a line item on the Regents' calendar in which they were allegedly supposed to talk about this contract extension for Tommy Lloyd. Then it was taken off the schedule, and Tommy Lloyd was asked about that at a press conference. I believe it was prior to the Wildcats weekend series against Cal and Stanford. Here's what he had to say about that.
Because there was no agreement. I mean, it was just simple as that. I don't know why it was on there. It's probably just a small oversight, but we're definitely working hard behind the scenes to make sure that we find an agreement, and I'm excited about it. I mean, last night, I'll just say this. Arizona's a great place. Last night, we had a social with over 200 employees from the athletic department for a happy hour at Culinary Dropout. We had a great time. And this is a special place to work, and I think people inside this building realize that. And it's on us right now to take the next steps as an organization and make it an unbelievable culture. And so that's what we're going to do. And so I'm excited to be part of it, lead it, whatever you want, to follow it. I mean, I'm all in.
So we found out then today, we got a little bit more information about this social. It sounds like it was something that, and we'll have to get clarity next time we talk to Mike Candrea, but it sounds like this was something that that Tommy Lloyd kind of put in place, or went to Mike Candrea and said, we probably should do this, which is great leadership on his part. And Mike Candrea talked about that today, about this. First, he was asked if he was involved in the planning of this social, and then he went on and talked a little bit more about how it all came together.
Well, I was a part of that, and it was an opportunity for I think Tommy has been wonderful for this department, and he understands how important it is to build a culture. You know, I always go back when we were all in one building, and we all, I used to dress next to Lute and Dick Tomey, and we would always be talking. And as we have improved things, we have also kind of been disassociated because people are all in different places. And the first thing that we did is Tommy and I got together and did a social for our people, just to let them know that, you know, we're going to be all right. You know, I think sometimes not hearing anything is the worst thing. And so I wanted to comfort them, knowing that, you know, I'm here to help them. I'm here to serve them. And I think it hasn't changed over the years. You know, we're here to serve our student athletes. But as a former staff member, I think sometimes we need to also serve our coaches and our staff. And I'm one that loves to walk around the building and make sure people feel good about why they're here. And so that was an easy thing for me to do. And so I'm going to take the things that I feel I'm strong at, things that I don't know. You know, I'm going to tell you I don't know. But a lot of this has been gathering information. So I'm trying to meet with everyone, kind of find out where we're at as a group, and then hopefully when the next person walks in here, I can hand off things that, you know, we're still moving in the right direction.
So it's interesting that just from the standpoint that one of the things that I thought, you know, was kind of integral and important about what Mike Candrea said today was that, you know, his whole goal is to try to create a culture for however long he's in this position. Now, that does not mean that, you know, there's not going to be difficult conversations because, again, this is a department that's going to have to make cuts. Where those cuts come from, we're not privy to know at this point. Is that going to mean people lose their jobs? That's possible. You heard the question asked about the hiring freeze. There are coaching positions right now with some of the sports that are not currently in competition that have not been filled yet. And we talked about this earlier in the week, how now a lot of these Olympic sports, you know, they were given the chance a few years ago via legislation to add an extra coach. And that adds up. That adds up to the bottom line. We talked about that earlier in the week. I mean, if you've got 6, 7, 8 Olympic sports programs who all add a third coach, that could add up to close to $1 million right there for a athletic department that's already in the red. We'll get more into this on Friday. I asked Mike Candrea. I'd mentioned earlier in the week how John Perrin, who was the CFO of the athletic department when I was there, kept this department in the black for years. I asked Mike a question about that. We'll get to that question. We'll let you hear that on Friday. We'll put a lot of this up. It's on our website as well. You'll be able to hear it, and we'll talk about that. So I asked him about that, and you'll hear some of the other things. I asked him if he thought that there needed to be some government oversight or some government involvement in trying to reel in college athletics in terms of what's happening right now. I also asked him about whether or not, you know, the future of athletics at universities, and in particular the University of Arizona, is going to involve more of a monetary commitment from the university itself, which is not necessarily been the way the model has been in the past. So we'll get into all of those things with Mike Candrea, and you'll hear that on Friday.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, again, final few seconds of the show. And I want to tell you about QC Kinetics. Are you sick and tired of those achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? Well, you need to call QC Kinetics today. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. It's transforming lives with innovative, non-surgical, drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. You got knee pain, you got back pain, you got shoulder pain. Maybe you get a cramp when you try to lift your leg up to show off your new fancy Christmas boots that your wife bought for you. Don't let these pains keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics, advanced state-of-the-art treatments, harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you the long-term relief that you've been looking for, and there's no downtime, folks. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, do the jump boxes at the gym without the danger of trauma or surgery and without any harmful drugs. You do the jump boxes, J-Dub?
Not if I could help it. I got to stretch first at least.
Okay. All right. Well, stretch and do the jump boxes. It's really fun, as long as you don't fall on your face. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 2 locations. One of them is off of Academy. One of them is off of Orange Grove. At some point, I'm going to look up where Academy actually is. I know where Orange Grove is in Tucson. I have no idea where Academy is, but maybe I'll look that up. Oh, actually, I do. Actually, I think I know where Academy is because I think I passed this. I think it's over by where my mother lives on the east side near Park Place Mall. Call QC Kinetics now, 520-497-4955. That's 520-497-4955. Don't be in pain any longer. QC Kinetics is the way to go now. All right. Tomorrow, again, we will be in basketball mode for you. Tonight, we've got Pima basketball. They're actually not in town. They're on the road tonight, but we'll talk about that and let you know how they did. Both those teams are competing for home games in the Region 1 Division 2 tournament. The Aztecs are on the road to South Mountain tonight, so best of luck to the Aztecs.
We won't be on the air tomorrow, but we got to mention Super Bowl Friday all day, right?
Yes, all day. Super Bowl at the Super Bowl and all that kind of stuff. Thanks to Shannon for telling us about her party. Thanks to Troy Hutchinson for joining us and getting us up to date on what is happening with the signing day today. Hopefully that 90th recruiting class goes up a little bit more. But again, it's not going to have a true effect on what this Wildcat team will be in 2024. Thanks to J-Dub. Thanks to Cricket. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. That's our time for tonight. We again thank you very much for your time. My name is David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Have a great evening, everybody.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic